that the biggest problem with this team has been talent evaluation. Now, based on some of your responses when we've asked about Howie, it seems you don't agree with that. But when you look at the draft record, it's been poor. When you look at one Pro Bowl player drafted in the last 7 years, how do you feel about that aspect of it? Because it's not that difficult to make a Pro Bowl. And how do you justify not making changes in terms of talent evaluation? Or are you considering making changes and maybe giving someone like John Dorsey more say, or someone else in the building more say when it comes to the draft?
I think the best way to look at it is you got to look at every aspect of drafting and talent acquisition. And if you're making short-term decisions, or you have a veteran team, or you're specifically focusing on one position or things like that, or a lower volume of picks, there's no reason to not look forward and having excellent success in this area. We've over the last 10, 15 years had a lot of success winning divisions, being in NFC championship games. I think one fourth of the time I've been owner in the last 20 years, we've appeared in an NFC championship game. That's hard to do without really good talent. And so I would say that, yeah, we can do better in every single aspect. And I'm as critical as any fan, trust me, as critical as any fan, and look at it in a very complex way. And it's a data-driven way. It's looking at what could have been, what should have been. And but I will match our performance against most any organization, and know that it's because of really good talent on the roster. So there's other ways of looking at it. But when you have a veteran roster, you're going to have many fewer starters coming from the draft and elsewhere. But listen, your words are not unheard. They're heard by me. And I feel like we've got an excellent football operations area.
For advertising opportunities for the following show, email us at cornerpubsports@gmail.com.
Welcome to the best pubcast around, Corner Pub Sports, bringing you sports, beer, and beyond. Catch the show live every Friday night at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Or get the show wherever you download your favorite podcasts. It's time to grab a cold one, kick your feet up, and enjoy the show. Welcome to the pub.
How you doing? This is Leonard Weaver, and you're listening to Corner Pub Sports, baby.
It's a unicorn.
Corner Pub Sports.
So those were the words of the Eagles owner, Jeffrey Lurie.
You got to start the show by picking us off all over again, right?
What a pompous ass.
Do you have the soundbite where it says we're all a little dumber, or we're all just dumber for listening to that? Like, that would be perfect for that.
I wish I did, but I have the Eagles organization. I have a clip of that. Pretty much everybody.
That didn't say anything. Like, he didn't say anything.
Jeffrey Lurie, what a fucking jitbag.
Oh, there you go. You can do that.
What a fucking jitbag.
What's up, everybody? Obviously, you know what this show is going to be heavily about. We have Ed Kracz of Sports Illustrated coming on the feed here in a little bit, probably about a half hour or so. Ed will be joining us. We haven't talked to Ed in a while. It should be a lot of fun. Thanks to everyone that's tuning in and already chiming in. TK Goldsmith, what's up, brother? Mark, what's up, everybody? So thanks. Obviously, chime in, keep the conversation going. But yeah, well, before we do anything, guys, I got the old reliable. I got lager. Oh, you got lager too, huh? What are you doing, Mike?
Down to the lager.
I started off with this.
Nice.
Mango wheat Blue Moon.
Yeah. Right. It's pretty good. It's, for me, Blue Moon's something that's I could have like maybe one of, and then it starts to like get too sweet, or like it doesn't. In moderation, I can enjoy Blue Moon.
The regular Blue Moons, that's my go-to.
Right. Yeah, like I like them, especially with the orange. I like them a little bit more.
Fuck them orange slices. I'll throw that right in the sink.
He has. I've seen it. He's thrown his share of orange slices right in that sink behind the bar. So obviously the Eagles fired Doug Peterson this week, and that's our big story. We got a lot tonight. We got our new segment that we've been doing while you were drunk. We have Fuck You Ben. We have Corner Pop Popcorn. We're going to talk some Sixers. So we got a lot to get to, but obviously we're starting off with the Eagles. And by the way, I'm wearing a Carson Wentz jersey for a reason because
he won the battle.
He's back in the game.
Yeah, apparently that was the at least what Aikman's saying. And like of all people, like Aikman doesn't seem like a clickbait type guy. Aikman saying that it seems like Peterson wanted Hurts to start,
but nobody knows. You got all these stories swirling around, and as fans,
you got the Press Taylor thing.
You want a story to hold on to.
Mm-hmm.
So the more you hear, the more you want to try to believe something.
Where did I'm sorry, maybe I missed something there. Where did Jalen Hurts show you enough to go? I'm going to ride with that guy going forward. And
that's what it comes down to. I think we all knew that there was something between Peterson and Wentz. We all knew for whatever reason they couldn't get in sync. So I'm not. I tend to believe that story a little bit. I do.
Okay. I don't know.
But what happened? Why?
Do you think it's more of that Peterson got fired, or do you think it's more of the situation? If you read between the lines, so I have a little. I was taking notes while Lori was talking while I was driving, which is awesome.
Is that when you almost wrecked the car, Sean?
I almost did, not because of that, because of what he was saying. But one of the things that he said, if you read between the lines, was basically like he had a different idea of where he wanted this team to go, and from what we were, and that the future of this franchise was better off for the both of us without him. Basically, is what he said. So it might not be entirely wrong that was a part of it. I think the other part, and we've all seen the stories that Press Taylor was going to be promoted. And that they're going to, bring back Unden. He was going to be promoted from cornerbacks coach, defensive coordinator, and all this stuff. We don't know what's true and what's not, but those are the reports that are coming out. Was that stuff too? Say that stuff was true. Do you think that would have been? Do you think that would have flew with you guys if those
not
were?
Me. No, the whole coaching staff had to be fired.
Right.
And if Jim Schwartz isn't there, then get rid of this scheme. Don't bring anybody up that would run the same scheme.
Well, right. The question to me is, where was the malcontent between Peterson and Wentz? Where did it go wrong? Where did it sour?
That's what I want to know.
I mean, that's a good question.
I think, me personally, I think there was a time when Carson Wentz went to Doug Peterson and said, "Hey, what's the lineup? What are we doing this week?" And Doug Peterson said, "I don't know." And Carson Wentz said, "What do you mean you don't know? You're the head coach." But at the same token, Doug Peterson didn't make those decisions. Howie Roseman was making those decisions. So at that point, I think there was a time where Carson Wentz just lost faith and hope and respect for him. And that's when he decided, I don't want to.
You think that Carson Wentz lost? You think Carson Wentz lost respect for him because he knew Peterson didn't really have much say in the organization?
He realized that Peterson was just a puppet.
Okay.
You think that's that deep, though?
I don't know. It's just my opinion. It's what I see. That's all. I don't know.
I mean, it's hard to disagree with any of that because, like you said, none of us know it. But the only thing we do know
is we just need a story to hold on to. That's all.
But the only thing we do know with this team from top to bottom is they're a fucking mess.
It is. This is a disaster.
Yeah. That's the only thing we do know. So any theory the three is come out with, okay, maybe that's it.
And we all realize that Howie Roseman is the one that should have been fired, correct?
Howie Roseman.
Yes, you are the motherfucking Antichrist.
Now, that opinion, he's not fired. He's still here because then the owner has to admit he made a mistake. Mm-hmm. He don't want to admit he made a mistake. But now that Doug Peterson is gone, Howie Roseman's bought himself 4 more years.
I don't know.
Hold on.
I don't know about 4 more years.
Yeah, and you're saying he has to admit he made a mistake. Gary, he just fired a Super Bowl winning coach. Isn't that admitting he made a mistake?
I just think it's if you're going to, I think Howie Roseman should have been the one that got fired first.
Well, I mean, I
agree, completely agree.
Yeah.
But then it's like high school shit. Like you're hearing other things too. Apparently, now Howie Roseman wanted Justin Jefferson, but Doug Peterson didn't think it fit his scheme,
which is contrary to everything else we read to the point. Everything was that the scout team and Peterson wanted Jefferson, and he was the one who said no. We're going to go right. And now all of a sudden it's completely reversed.
Right.
What even with Whiteside? That wasn't Howie or Doug. That was the fucking owner. And the owner got Doug Peterson on board with it, with J.J. Arcega-Whiteside.
Wait.
You think the owner was the one that made the decision on that?
Whiteside?
Yes. Look it up and read the reports.
I would be surprised by that. I don't think the owner gets into that type of minutia of scouting.
His fucking car's parked there every day at practice, Mike. He's a meddler. He should stay the fuck out of it.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
we're seeing a lot of this. I mean, well, speaking of Howie, this is one of the things that was brought up in the press conference that just drove me. This is actually what drove me insane. That Howie surrounds himself with good people, right?
That's where I turned it off.
There's 5 of them. He could be GMs.
Yeah, he said because obviously the question was, is his job safe? And he said one of the things as a DM is that other teams look at you and to see who you surround yourself with, and Howie surrounds himself with good people. And I don't know who the next person was. Whoever it was next, the reporter said, "Well, Mr. Lurie, if he surrounds himself with such good people, how come your draft picks stink? Basically how." And it might have been Rob Maldy. That's who the clip was, by the way. That's who was asking Lurie the question at the beginning of our show.
I think the question after that was John Clark.
I know Howard Eskin got him.
Yeah, I mean that's no surprise, right? He's always going to be vindictive, but no, he didn't let up as advertised, right? He does his thing, but the next line is what really. This is the line that got me. We can't we can't beat ourselves up if a player that we were really eyeing up was taking 2 or 3 picks before us.
That's such a bullshit line.
When I heard that, I literally almost went off the road. I was like, "You've got to be shitting me! Like, are you kidding me right now with this?"
Like you don't like. How do you not have you have months and months to prepare? How do you not have another guy?
That's what I'm saying.
Throw your hands up in the air after one guy goes
right, and that's so you're telling me that an NFL franchise with every one of their picks doesn't have 10 guys?
They don't have a
list of 10 guys?
That's him refusing to say he made a mistake.
Right. That's the biggest mistake of it all.
Terrible. But you can refuse it all you want, but then it just looks like you're unprepared in the draft.
But you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. In his eyes, I satisfies the fans. I put a smoke screen, but I did not admit that I was wrong, and I did not admit that I made a mistake.
No, see, this is where I think we got a little wrong with Jeffrey Lurie. They win the Super Bowl, and it's like, oh wow, man, yeah, he's been a good owner. Like the nostalgia was there. That you were enamored with him. You kind of were infatuated with him because we were all fucking so ecstatic.
Mm-hmm.
But Jeffrey Lurie, and I don't know, but that's probably true of most owners. Jeffrey Lurie does not care about winning. Jeffrey Lurie cares about being competitive and keeping that stadium full. That's
he wanted a ring. He wanted a ring really badly.
How many nights sleep would he have lost if he didn't get it?
How many? Several times in that press conference, he mentioned I think he mentioned the championship twice. He mentioned the Super Bowl twice. 5-6 times he mentioned division titles, NFC title games, division titles, NFC title. He must have mentioned that long consistency. Right. Every 4, we make the NFC championship game a quarter of the time I've been an owner. That's really hard to do. Okay, look,
he's right, but
he's right.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
But the last time prior to 2017 was 2008. So
right.
Don't act like it's every 4 years. That come on now, that's 10 years. You had a period, a 5-year period where you were the cream of the crop in the NFC, just that you lost in the NFC Championship game 4 times. That's all. That's all that was.
He's fucking delusional.
So that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
I think he's just. I don't think that he's. I think you guys are reading too much into the words. I think he just had to say something and just gave a, you know.
And that might be true, but he said the wrong thing because when he. Oh, Mike, by the way, I had a random thought too. I was thinking about this. I was in the shower. You and I have been friends since before either one of us could get hard. That's pretty wild.
That's what you're thinking about in the shower.
Yeah,
that's what you're thinking about in the shower.
It was a random thought. I was like, how about that?
So you and Mike were friends before you cicaed a Woody.
Yeah. Is that something?
Well, that's funny. You think about that in the shower. I think about Gary's dogs while I'm in the shower.
He starts to come and then he pulls out.
I don't think
really. It's a really unique crew we got here.
But anyway, back to the Eagles.
Yeah, so like I was saying, like he doesn't care about winning. He wants to fill that stadium and be competitive. That's it.
So the name of tonight's show will be Softy Friends.
Man, I don't know. This has been a whirlwind of a week for sure. But
well, I mean, it was so bad.
Mike, you were saying the words. He picked the wrong words because he's saying things that were just making people more pissed off. Is he that out of touch with everything, or is he just that stubborn that he won't admit it? Do you think he knows that Howie is found at his job right now, or he just admit it? Yeah, I
don't know.
How could you not? How could you not know? I mean, you have like
because again, I'll come back to it again, and I'm sorry I'm cutting you off, Mike. Earnings wise, like from revenue, in the past 25 years, they're top 3 in the NFL.
Oh, right.
That's why.
Right. And they are a top tier franchise. No matter what's going on, the fans will purchase tickets. They'll purchase merchandise. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you have a winning list, but you know what? What NFL stadium isn't full every game?
Jaguars, the Falcons.
All right. Who else? The Jaguars and who?
Falcons. The Saints when they're not good.
The Rams.
The Rams.
Chargers.
The Chargers.
The Rams are a good football team, and they can't.
The Buccaneers before they signed Tom Brady.
Really?
Carolina Panthers. I mean,
the Jets.
The Jets.
Well, who wants to see the Jets? But no, I mean, I
just named like 8-9 of them, Mike.
Fuck you! I'm trying to help you, motherfucker.
Are you sure that they're not being said? But I mean, look, I mean,
the Eagles are a top tier franchise.
Yeah, but you know what? So is Green Bay. So is Pittsburgh. So are the Giants. So is Dallas. So is New England. So is Baltimore.
So what's your point?
Yeah, what's the point?
Well, I don't know if they're top 3. And I don't know if they're going to be a top tier anymore. I think that they were a top tier. They've been successful. He's right. They've been successful. Even in their years, they've only had 1 or 2 down years. How many years in a row did they miss the playoffs?
Right, but it's a fact, Mike. Like past 25 years, they're top 3 in revenue.
Right.
It's the Patriots, the Cowboys, and the Eagles.
I mean, the fan base is just crazy.
Look at this cocksucker's house in Florida. Did you see that fucking house?
Well, the other guys own Home Depot.
Jeez,
all the owners are rich.
But the Eagles in general, they have just such a huge fan base, especially local, obviously. But even nationwide, there's a lot of Eagles fans around, man, and they're a big market team. And I think the Giants, like you mentioned, the Giants. I think the thing that hurts the Giants is that you have the Jets there too, so that kind of cuts into their fan base a little bit.
There's 2 teams.
Yeah, so. But I mean, really, if you think about it, I mean, other big market teams, the Bears are, but they're not. I don't know too many people that are Bears fans outside of that area. I might have met like maybe 2 Bears fans.
Yeah, I've met 2 of them. I've met 2 of them. One I used to work with, one I work with now.
Yeah, I mean, I know a few, but the thing is that like if he's talking about money, like how is the money situation good when his cap situation's a mess and his team's got 4 wins? How is that how is that earning money? How is that successful as an organization when you're the second worst cap and you had 4 wins?
Because he's talking like he's a Cowboys fan where he's living in the past. The last 20, 25, he kept bringing up 20, 25, even on the Clippers played 15, right. 20, 25 years. Oh, look at our success. I put it up against anybody. That's fine. What the fuck does it have to do with now? What does it have to do with future coach?
And one down year is not going to compare to the money that they've made while he's been there.
His attitude will change when you have another 2 years like that. And that's what's going to happen here.
Maybe he didn't realize it because he didn't hear the boos in the stadium this year.
Maybe, Mike. That's a good point.
He didn't look too happy on the sideline or in the press box, though. I'll tell you that this year. It wasn't too many times I saw him.
Well, apparently he's making money, so he's thrilled. I don't know.
Mike, I didn't say thrilled, man. I didn't say thrilled. Okay, but he's not. He doesn't care about rings. If you think a multi-billionaire who owns the Eagles and runs it like a business cares about getting a ring, he cares about his bottom line.
All right. Right. You want your bottom line.
I think he wanted that.
You do. You got to prove to the fans that you do want a little bit of success. It don't matter if that's Super Bowl.
In his mind, he has had success.
That's what I'm
saying. Hold on. We got to do something real quick though. Ryan, you want to take it away?
Fuck you, Ben. 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 Where the fuck you, Ben? Where the fuck you, Ben?
Take it away, Ryan.
So our fuck you, Ben tonight. Been a guy we had Ed Kracz, man. Where the fuck you been? We ain't talked to you in a while. This terrible season. We haven't talked to you the whole season. And there he is. What's up, fellas?
Yeah, it ain't like you've been sitting in the
Happy New Year, boys. Happy New Year.
Cheers. Yeah, right. Cheers, brother. Ed Kracz from Sports Illustrated covers the Eagles. Just follow him. He's a great follow at Kratz E on Twitter.
I need to refill. I'll be right back.
Okay. Of course, if you have been listening to the show for a while, you know that Ed's been in the house, but he's been on our show several times. And I think the last time we talked to you, Ed, was after the Jalen Hurts. I think it was the draft. Yeah, like a week after the draft. So, but how you been, Ed?
Busy. It's been a crazy season. With no access to the locker room, players, doing everything on Zoom, everything remotely. It's been very different, very challenging.
Yeah. I mean, obviously now you're busy, and we appreciate you coming on because the Eagles are in the middle of a coaching search, and there's a ton to talk to you about. We don't want to, we're not going to keep you all night, we promise. But by the way, what are you drinking? That's the most important question of all.
Heineken.
There you go.
Nice.
Ed is grabbing a Heine.
Were you get thirsty when you seen the Washington quarterback's name?
Yeah, the Washington
got a case of Heineken.
Taylor Heineken. Yeah. For the Washington team. Yeah.
There was a time in my life where Heineken was my go-to, man.
It's been a long time since I had one. This was just kind of sitting around in the fridge. I think we got it from some theater pass that we bought, the Sellersville Theater. Was giving out a big basket of stuff, and I think there were a couple Heinies in there. So
there you go. There's nothing wrong with
that. No, it tastes good. It tastes great. I don't know why I stopped drinking it.
I think the last time we had a Christmas gift or something, we got like one of those little kegs that they come out with. We had one of them. We killed that during the show.
Here, let me show you what else I got floating around here. Hold on.
All right. What else? Oh,
I'm coming day and night.
Nice.
There's plenty of it left. I just got it about a week ago, and it was a gift from a guy I do another podcast with. He sent it to me for a Christmas gift, and we had a little Zoom shot party last week.
That's awesome.
What the fuck's doing? Did you send him a gift?
Yeah,
this stuff is nasty.
I mean, I think we're behind the times then.
You didn't send him nothing. Show him what the fuck.
I didn't want anything, and this. I mean, look,
I love that name.
I don't know how long this is supposed to last me, this bottle, but it's going to be a little while.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a strong
jet fuel.
moonshine, man. Yeah, exactly. A couple of them, you're like, oh, I'm done.
He said to tell what the proof is, you turn it on its side like this and you look for bubbles. And if you see a lot of bubbles, it's a lower proof, and there's not a single bubble when you turn it on its side and shake it. 100 proof.
Oh, man.
Yo,
I didn't know that.
moonshine. Come on back to the shed. I'll give you some moonshine.
So we need to get into this. Ed,
Yeah, I know, right?
what's going on with our Eagles?
Obviously, we were just talking about Doug Peterson getting fired, and I guess I'll start off with that. One, I guess, did you see this coming? And two, what was your reaction?
And we can maybe even have him end the debate on Ryan and I. Does Jeffrey Lurie care about winning championships? Or is it all about the money?
Is that part of my question? What the hell?
Wait a minute. What question am I getting here?
I know. What the hell, dude? The first question was, did you about Peterson getting fired? Did you see it coming? And now that he is gone, what was your reaction?
Well, I didn't see it coming, to be honest. I mean, I thought as the season wore on that he was in trouble, and I thought after they lost to Washington that he'd be fired. I thought that Monday he'd be fired. And then him and Howie Roseman came out and talked together and put on this unified front. So I just kind of assumed, well, he's back. And then, Lurie and him met on Tuesday, and Lurie didn't think it went real well, so he brought him down to Florida to talk some more. And I knew once that meeting was reported that he had to go to Florida, and talk to the principal.
It's like Henry Hill. When they asked Henry Hill to do that job down in Florida, he's like, I knew if I went, I would never come home.
That's right. Yeah. I don't know where Doug went from there, but he's still in the wind. So I knew. So no, I wasn't surprised that he got fired when that news came out that he was going to Florida, and I was surprised he didn't get fired. It's weird. I mean, it's not like Chip Kelly when he got canned. I mean, that was a complete out of the blue lightning bolt because that happened the week before the season ended, and I'm filing a story on Billy Davis in trouble, and then I got an email from the Eagles saying Chip Kelly's been relieved of his duties, and I thought I was getting pranked, So that was a shock. But this was kind of a surprise, then it wasn't a surprise, and then it was a surprise again.
The Eagles won't have it any other way, Ed.
I know. Yeah. So, I don't think he'll coach this season, Doug. I don't think. I think he deserves to take a year off. He should take a year off and kind of recharge. And I've said before that I think Doug should probably just take his rest of his career off and maybe go coach high school football again, and just ride into the sunset and do what he wants to do. Coach, maybe do some commentating on television. I'd love to see him do like one of those pregame Sunday shows, on ESPN or Fox or somewhere.
Golly, this guy really gets me going.
I can see that though.
Yeah, so you don't think that he wants to coach, or you don't think that?
I think he wants to coach, but I just think for him, why not just be the Super Bowl winning head coach for the Philadelphia Eagles and go back to your roots, coach some high school, no pressure, just kind of ride on your laurels. I mean, he probably doesn't have to work. Just hunt and fish. He loves to hunt and fish. Just go hunt, fish, coach a little football, no pressure, and be happy with your life.
No.
He won't. He won't.
Yeah.
No.
I agree. Yeah, I don't think so.
So my question for you, Ed, is with the coaching search.
Mike was up first, Garrett. Hold it.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say, so, I mean, getting to what Ryan and I were talking about, how much do you think winning like a championship matters to Lurie? Because based off of what he was saying, and were you as baffled by the press conference as we were? Well, yeah. I didn't actually get a chance, but.
Yeah. It was pretty wild, man. He didn't really have any good answers, and he said some really ridiculous things that, the biggest challenge for me listening to it was trying not to let anybody see me roll my eyes or shake my head no or just start laughing with some of the things he said with, were 5 general managers walking around the building and, Nate Sutfield was unstoppable against Dallas 3 years ago.
Yeah.
19
for the best deep ball on a roster.
He's got the best deep ball on a roster.
It was so weird. And then really to stick up for Howie the way he did was really surprising. Kind of putting down someone who would ask about, how come he doesn't have accountability? And he's like, well, have you gone through every draft and every street free agent over the last, 7 years? I mean, really defending Howie when Howie's just as culpable in this mess, if not more so, than Doug Peterson.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, and his answer, we were just talking about this, his answer about the, well, a guy got picked a pick or two before us. And that, like, how are you not, like, doesn't that make it seem like you're unprepared to not have the next guy on your list?
Right. I know. I mean, it was just a really bizarre, strange presser. It was almost like he didn't prepare at all. Usually I think he does a good job of being scripted and kind of knows what he's going to say and probably has notes that he reads in front of a mirror before he comes on to talk or stands in front of us and talk like he did before the pandemic. But in this case on Zoom, which is a really strange atmosphere, I will say. And if you're not used to it, then it can be a little daunting. I know he talked to us, I think it was the end of August, the end of July, I think, on Zoom. But it's different, like kind of like we're doing now. I mean, we're a little more familiar with it, but he probably isn't. So that's kind of a bizarre thing. And I'm not defending Lurie at all. I mean, I will say he did make a decent point about Howie when he said that, Howie's always been kind of willing to step back and bring in fresh eyes like he did with Joe Douglas and Andy Weidel and Andrew Berry and now John Dorsey, almost insinuating like Doug didn't want to do that. He didn't want to step back and not call plays anymore. And he wanted to bring back the same coaching staff. And Lurie didn't want to do that. So that, I will say that, and Howie has done that. He has tried to bring in fresh eyes, but it still isn't working.
Yeah, Howie's willing to say, yeah, I suck. Let's bring somebody else in, but don't fire me.
Yeah, right. He'll do anything to keep his job. He's a survival guy. But, him and Jeff have that great relationship going back to like 2000 or whenever they brought Howie in as a, kind of a, the go get the coffee type guy. And then his role has grown from there. And they're almost like father and son, I would think at this point.
So, Ed, from our point of view, what we're seeing, what we're reading, it seems like the Eagles really, really, really like Joe Brady. Now, is there another guy that you're hearing that we haven't heard? Do you know anything about Joe Brady? And the second part of that question is, if they do hire Joe Brady, do you think it would be like a yes man kind of hire?
Well, I think that's a little bit what they're looking for, is someone to kind of be like Doug was and just kind of go along and not have as much say in personnel as you might like. But I'm not so sure they want Joe Brady, to be honest. I have a story coming out, and I think it's going to be Mike Kafka. I think that's their target.
God.
They interviewed Joe Brady on Wednesday, and Brady really only had only one other interview, and he didn't get that job. And I just think there might be a concern on the Eagles' part and maybe some other NFL teams that he's just not quite ready yet to be a head coach. I mean, he's 31 years old. He really had that really terrific season with Joe Burrow and the receivers down at LSU. And then last year in Carolina, I mean, yeah, he had 2,000-yard receivers, but, he did okay without McCaffrey. But it wasn't like an offense that was really lighting things up in Carolina. So, I think – I'm not saying that I wouldn't hire him. I probably would take a chance on him, especially because you're going to have a roster that's going to be kind of churning here, and it's going to be relatively young. So why not bring in a coach like Brady, who's 31 years old, that can grow with your roster? But I think the concern is just he's just not ready yet. He might need a couple more years or at least another year to kind of get his feet wet in the NFL. And, it's a weird dynamic because you're 31 and you got Fletcher Cox is 30. You got a lot of guys around that same age. And I'm just not sure the Eagles are ready to go with someone like that, someone from kind of out of, away from the Andy Reid coaching tree or whatever. I just don't think they're ready to go there yet with Joe Brady. I probably would. I like him. I mean, I'd like to hire him and then bring in Jamar Chase from LSU as your receiver and let those two light it up again.
And he knows it. He knows him well. And that was. And Gary, I know you got a question. Just real quick on the Joe Brady thing. That's one thing that's different. I keep looking at Joe Brady. I keep looking at Sean McVay, and the only difference between the two is that there is a difference because Sean McVay was doing it a little longer in the NFL than Joe Brady was. So, what do you think about the ball from Buffalo?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like everybody kind of has him ticketed for the Chargers. I'm not sure why, but yeah, I would like Brian DeBall. I think he would fit in fine. He looks like a pretty fiery guy. He did a great job with Josh Allen, kind of developing him, and so did his quarterback coach Ken Dorsey. I mean, if you're looking at quarterback coaches or guys you might want to promote to OCs, I mean, I think Ken Dorsey's a pretty good name there too in Buffalo. But I like Daboll. I think he did a great job with Josh Allen. Of course, the Bills brought in some receivers. They drafted the kid Gabriel Davis from UCF, who I loved at the Combine. I thought the Eagles should have taken a chance on him. He talked about having a good relationship with Miles Sanders, but they bring him in the fourth round, and then, of course, they acquire Stephon Diggs. So, that certainly helps Josh Allen too. But, I like what Daboll's done with that offense. I mean, it's a fun offense to watch. The Bills are a fun team who I think can get to the Super Bowl. I think they beat the Ravens, and then they go up against the Chiefs, and I think they can beat the Chiefs. But
So do I.
Yeah, but we'll see. But I mean, I like Daboll. But Jeffrey Lurie doesn't always hire the popular kid. He always seems to try to think he's the smartest one in the room. And
yeah, we're all stupid.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I mean,
all right. Now, Deuce Staley. He's been interviewed a few times in the past years for other positions.
Yeah.
Now he's getting interviewed for the head coaching position. He is somewhat of a fan favorite, a player favorite. But why is he not getting calls from other teams if he's that popular?
Yeah, I mean, I just think he really hasn't proven that he can do anything outside the Eagles organization. I mean, the Eagles kind of really didn't do him any favors by not promoting him to offensive coordinator. He interviewed for the head coaching job in 2016 and went to Doug. He interviewed to be the OC in 18 and 20, didn't get the job. I mean, I don't think the Eagles did him a whole lot of favors in terms of helping promote his career. And that might be why he's not getting a lot of traction in these head coaching jobs. But, I think he's a good fallback guy. Like if Kafka doesn't work out, I mean, I've always liked Deuce. And like you said, he's a fan favorite. He's a player favorite for sure. Brandon Graham, like an hour ago, went on Instagram and, said, I want Deuce. I love Deuce. Deuce is a great guy. Malcolm Jenkins has said, I would love to play for Deuce Staley as my head coach. He's got a lot of respect from the players. And, if I'm the Eagles, I would really think long and hard about bringing him in and then make sure he brings in an offensive coordinator who has complete autonomy to call the plays, to do whatever he wants on the offensive side of the ball. And Deuce kind of be that leader of men, get you fired up, get you motivated. Yeah, he's got his hand in the game plan too, but let him be that guy. Bring in a strong offensive coordinator like maybe Mike Kafka from the Chiefs.
Kind of the way John Harbaugh does it in Baltimore.
Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, let him be the CEO of the team, but then you delegate offensive duties and then bring in a strong defensive coordinator like maybe Gerard Mayo, who they talked to on Friday, the New England linebackers coach. Maybe bring him in as your DC. D'Amico Ryan to me would be awesome.
Yeah, be perfect. Yeah, fan favorite coming back.
Yeah, smart guy. I mean,
that's right up Gary's alley.
The 49ers promoted him to defensive coordinator.
I'm saying bring him in as a head coach. Why not?
Wow. Yeah.
What the heck? I mean,
I'd rather him than Mike Kafka, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, Mike Kafka is a little underwhelming, but I think I really think that's kind of their top target. They want Lincoln Riley. They definitely want Lincoln Riley, and it's interesting that Lincoln Riley hasn't really come out publicly and said, I'm coming back to Oklahoma. And it's kind of like with Chip. Chip kind of played his cards close to the vest about leaving Oregon back in 2013. And I think he had an interview maybe with the Browns that year, and then he was like, no, I'm not really that interested. So, but the Eagles were able to lure him kind of later in the process. So, maybe Lincoln Riley, that kind of the same thing, but that would be the home run for the Eagles.
What's the story? Was it the story that they had Gus Bradley in the in the room, basically, and then they were like, "Oh no, Chip's calling. Gus, just go away."
Yeah, right. All of a sudden, Gus, you're out. Here's cab fare. Beat it.
With as bad as the Chip Kelly thing went, though, like,
yeah, I was surprised.
I'm kind of surprised they're leaning that way. And another thing, Lincoln Riley, like, wouldn't you believe he would want Jalen Hurts as the quarterback?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
so that's another thing,
right? I mean, it would almost be like, what if the Eagles hired the North Dakota State coach? You know, he'd want Carson Wentz, right? Jalen Hurts would be on the out, but I think the Eagles are kind of committed to bringing Carson back. But if Lincoln Riley comes in, you know, Carson doesn't have a lot of cards to play. I mean, he's getting paid. I mean, he could hold out and say, I'm not coming to camp and all that if he really wanted to make a big deal out of it. But maybe they think Lincoln can come in and kind of fix him. I mean, Lincoln Riley's coached 3 great quarterbacks over the last few years with Baker Mayfield, Heisman Trophy winner, Kyler Murray, Heisman Trophy winner, Jalen Hurts, Heisman Trophy runner-up. I mean, he's a quarterback guy, and that's what they want. They want a quarterback, a coach who can coach quarterbacks, and maybe they think Lincoln can fix Carson and work with Jalen as well.
That's the thing. I guess Kafka. I guess they're looking at Kafka as that too.
Right.
And the thing is, like, as underwhelming as that would be, and to me, it would be very underwhelming because it feels like you're doing the same thing over and over again. But
yeah, you're just basically taking Doug's replacement.
Right. And I remember when Doug was hired, and I don't think any of us were optimistic about it. Like, I think all of us were kind of down about it. And I know, you know, I've been hard on Doug through the years, and actually someone that has tuned in here has probably been his biggest defender against me, Mike's brother Steve. We've kind of gone at it back and forth, and you know, I think Doug had good ideas. I just think that he fouled. Like, he was aggressive. He was aggressive in 17, and he had success with it. And I think everyone got a book on him, and that was it. And he was stubborn. He was too stubborn to make adjustments away from that. And that's just my opinion. And I know he got a hard, but I knelt on my sword, and I said, you know what? I was wrong. I was wrong about Doug. He brought us to the Super Bowl. Maybe he's not as much of an idiot as I thought he was. And then the last 3 years, we kind of just been nosediving. And this year, I was just like, I've had it. But I guess what I'm trying to lead to, my long-winded story, basically, Ed, what do you think exactly went wrong for Doug here, and what caused him to lose his job?
Well, I think it's that stubbornness that you talk about. I mean, I just think that he wanted to do things his way. He wasn't always allowed to do things his way. You know, I think Howie and Jeffrey really kind of dictated what he was supposed to do in a lot of things, personnel-wise. But, you know, it was Doug's decision to bench Carson. And I know that Jeffrey had no input on that. I don't think it was Doug's decision to tank the final game, if you want to call it that. I think that came from above, even though Jeffrey denied it on Monday of having any kind of hand in that. But I think Doug's insistence and maybe his loyalty caught up to him a little bit. I think this time around, I think he was just a little fed up. I mean, you kind of could see Doug toward the end if you looked at any of his press conferences on Zoom. He just looked like he was very, you know, could have cared less, you know, fidgeting with his fingers, you know, looking around. You know, looked very uninterested in what was going on. And
yeah, he definitely seemed like he checked out the last 3-4 weeks of the season.
It did. And then that's why it was kind of surprising. Then all of a sudden at the end of the year, start defending himself that injuries were the problem, no off-season training camps. You know, all of a sudden all these all these excuses started to pop up. So I just think that it was Doug's stubbornness. He wanted to bring back Press Taylor. He wanted to promote Matt Burke to be his D coordinator. I just think he kind of wanted to run it back in 2021, even bringing back some players that I think are going to be gone. And Jeffrey didn't see it that way. Larry didn't see that was the way to do it. He wanted to kind of retool. He wanted to get younger. And Doug didn't really want to do that. So I think there was kind of that disconnect there with personnel and coaching and all that other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're in a full-on rebuild right now.
Yeah, I agree.
I think so. I think they have a massive issue with the salary cap, so they're going to have to really look long and hard at some tough decisions to get in compliance with the cap. And that's going to lead to, they had 10 draft picks last year, and I like that class. I think the class can be pretty good. I know Rager didn't really have the year everybody thought. Looks like a mistake, but I like Hurts, obviously. I like Sean Bradley. I like their offensive lineman, Jack Driscoll. I think Kayvon Wallace can play.
I agree with that. Yep.
And they need to have another draft this year. They have, I think, 7 picks right now, but I think there's going to be some comp picks in there. I think they'll probably trade a couple guys like Zach Ertz, maybe pick up another pick. I think they're going to have 11 or 12 picks in this draft, and they're going to need contributions from them and from the class that they just had in 2020, because that's what they're going to need. They're going to need young, cheap labor to get under that salary cap.
So speaking of the draft, Ed, who do you think's there? I guess the bottom line question: what did the Eagles do at number 6 in your opinion?
Well, what do you guys think? Do you like Devontae Smith?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, I mean, who do you like between Chase and Smith? I guess.
Well, I'm going to say, I know Smith's just electric talent, but man, his size, he's like Deshaun Jackson size. He's 125 pounds. A little bit. He's probably not even 6 foot. He might be 6 foot. I think they list him at 6'1", but certainly doesn't look it to me when guys are coming up and resting their arms on top of his helmet on him. I mean, he's a little guy, and he can give you production, but my concern is he going to be available for all 16 games? He could be one of those guys that gets nicked up, banged up, ankle injuries, hamstring. I mean, I'm not real confident he can stay healthy. And then on the Eagles team that never is healthy, I'm not sure he'd be able to play all 16 games. So if I had to pick a receiver, I would probably take Jamar Chase, just because I think he's a little more put together physically. And he doesn't have the speed that Devontae Smith has, but I think he would be a very good receiver. And I think he was terrible.
Yeah, he was the guy that, was better than the guy that broke all the records this year. So
yeah, he was the Blitnikoff winner in 2019 and took this year off. He said it wasn't COVID related, but he wanted to just concentrate on being a pro. And it won't hurt him. He'll still go top 10, if not top 5. I mean, he's still going to get picked real high.
What about trading back? You think there's any opportunity, opportunity they do that? Like any chance?
After tanking to get the 6th pick? I don't think.
Well, maybe they tanked to get an extra second rounder.
Hey, yeah. Ed said they tanked. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I think they. I think they bungled that whole thing. If you would have started Nate Sudfeld from the jump, there's no problem.
Howie Roseman he'll pick a punter at number 6.
Who?
Stop it.
He'll
pick a punter.
He'll pick a kicker.
Listen, this defense stinks. You can make a case in the top 10. You could take defender, but this draft class isn't real good, I don't think, for defensive ends or defensive tackles. That's a problem, and I'm not sure I would take a cornerback in the top 10. I don't think.
You wouldn't take. Yeah, there's
Surtain?
Farley or Surtain. Yeah. So
yeah,
Mika.
I'm not sure I would go cornerback. So you're kind of really limited to if that.
Mika.
Who?
Mika Parsons. Penn State linebacker.
Oh, Micah Parsons.
Micah.
Again, it depends who they bring in as a coach. They don't really value the linebacker spot. And
yeah, I know they won't. That's not a bad pick, but they won't.
Yeah, and again, I'm not really sold on Penn State guys either, to be honest. I mean, I don't know. Who has played well from Penn State? I mean, Sean Lee has been in the league forever. He's a Penn State linebacker. Right? Saquon Barkley looked great, rookie of the year, hurt now, but I mean,
Navarro Bowman.
Who?
Navarro Bowman.
Yeah, Navarro Bowman. Yeah, he's retired now, I think, right? But yeah, he came into the league. Yeah, I mean, I could see him being good, I guess. I don't know. I mean, Sharif Miller, they took him from Penn State in the 4th round, and he stinks. Well, I shouldn't say, but he can't land on a team. But
he stinks.
I don't want to say.
That's funny though. There was a time when you consider Penn State linebacker man.
Right. I know. I mean, maybe they take Parsons because they do need help on defense, and he's probably the best defensive guy considered the best defensive guy in this draft. I know there's that kid in Miami, that Gregory Rousseau. He didn't play last year. Big kid, 6'6", 300, not 300, like 250, something like that. So, but you need, I think you need defense, but it's just not available early like you would hope. So would they trade back to like 12 or 13 to maybe take a cornerback like Farley if he's there, or Surtain if he doesn't go in the top 10? Maybe. I don't think they would at all. I think if anything, they might try to trade up and grab that tackle from Oregon, Penny Sewell, or however you say it.
So they're going to take a tackle? Really? You think after with
this guy's compared to like a couple Hall of Famers, right? Anthony Munoz, and look, I never saw the guy play. I don't know. I mean, I'm just telling you what I've read, but everybody loves him. And the Eagles, if you look at who they take in the top 10, they haven't picked there often. In 2013, they took Lane Johnson. They took Carson Wentz, 2nd overall.
And then Donovan McNabb.
McNabb was 2 overall. Corey Simon was 6th overall, where they're picking in 2000. So, if you look at who they've taken in the top 10 when they've picked, it's been a quarterback or a lineman, offense or defense. So,
but I just like
that's not the sexy pick, but I'd be all right with that.
No, you know what? But the problem is you have Lane Johnson, you have Mulata, you have Andre Dillon. Like, so what do you do with all those guys?
Well, Lane's a lot of money. I mean, they're already. Look, do
you think they're ready to give up on Lane? All right, I mean, like, not give up on Lane, but I mean,
I think Lane's days are numbered. I think Brandon Brooks' days are numbered. Those guys have really making way too much money for being 30-something now, and that's Howie's fault for giving them. Yeah. So, I mean, and like Nate Herbig played well. I mean, what do you need Brooks for? You got Herbig, who's making, $700,000 as opposed to Brandon Brooks, who's counting like $14 million against your cap. So, I mean, I don't know if they'll part with him this year, but, they always talk about this being a 3-year down the road type of projection. So, if you're thinking Lane and Brandon are gone, then Penny Sewell fits right in there.
Okay.
You gotta believe in 2-3 years that
fair enough.
Neither one of them are here, unless they have a miraculous turnaround.
If you read between the lines in Lurie's press conference, he said that several times. He said we have to stop thinking short term. We have to look more mid to long term. He said that several times. So
that's a rebuild,
right? So guys like, I hate to say it, but guys like Brandon Graham. Those guys might not be here. And I didn't even think about Lane Johnson. And Brandon Brooks, I think, is gone. I don't think there's any question. Kelsey could retire. I think if he doesn't, he's back. I don't know how you move on from Kelsey, honestly.
I think Brandon Graham's the one they don't move on from. I think he's the one that ends his career in an Eagles uniform. Everybody else, though, in my opinion, whoever.
There's maybe 5 guys right now on this team that I'm like, yeah, I want them to stay, or like that they probably should stay and be part of the rebuild. You think
Jason
Dallas Goedert, Miles Sanders, I guess Rager, Mulata.
Yeah, he has to be here. Rager has to be here, dude. Has to be. He was your first round pick last year.
As far as Graham goes, I mean, he's a guy that would probably give you the most return on a trade, to be honest. I mean, he's only got 1 year left on his deal. He's coming off a great season, first Pro Bowl season. He is the heart and soul of the team, great locker room presence. But he's 33 years old, or he will be 33, I think, in April. He would probably bring you, and he's not going to bring a lot, but I think he'd bring the most in terms of a draft pick. I mean, I'm not even sure Zach Ertz is going to bring you more than a 5. Yeah. I think they'd be ecstatic about 4.
Wow.
But, that's just the way the NFL works. I mean, it's really hard to get good value for guys. And like Fletcher Cox would bring you something, but he's got that big contract, and it wouldn't surprise me if they shop Fletcher Cox, to be honest.
Oh no, I mean he's not going to be a part of the rebuild in 3 years.
Yeah, I think they should.
Yeah, right. But who's going to? I mean, he's doing a lot of money. He's 29. I think he's 30 now.
Well, you could package any one of these guys up to get to the 4th to have a shot at Sewell, or the 3rd or 4th pick, right?
Possibly, yeah, if that's the direction they want to go. Or maybe they just take a receiver and they go with Rager. Maybe somebody can get something out of Arthega Whiteside, the next coach, whoever it is. Maybe the problem wasn't him; it was how he was being developed. And then you have Rager, you have Ward, you have Travis Fulgham, and then you have Jamar Chase or Devontae Smith or whoever that receiver is. I think you just take the best player that's there. I don't care if it's a quarterback or an offensive tackle or whatever. You just take them.
I agree. They need everything. They need everything. So it's now this the Eagles, but it's kind of hard to mess this pick up.
It is. I mean, Corey Simon was the last time they picked 6. They took him, and he was good. He wasn't Hall of Fame great or anything, but I think I looked it up. He had like 78 starts. He had 30 sacks from a defensive tackle. He was a good player.
Yeah, he was a
run stopper. Yeah.
Yeah. I got the Flyers on here in the background. That's why I keep looking up and watching.
Yeah, we got it on too.
Yeah.
What's the score right now? Still 3-2?
3-2, 11 and a half left in the third.
Okay.
Oh, I got 12:40 left. Yeah, I'm a minute behind you.
Yeah. Well, I pay extra for the cable.
Yeah.
My feed cut out for some reason over here. Whatever.
Yeah,
that's what happens. Anyway,
you got to move out of the country, man.
Yeah, yeah, right. I know. Hey, it's not like you're much further than me, man.
I'm out there. I'm in the boondocks. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
If I open my window, you'd hear the cows moo.
We were talking about Jason Kelce. I want to ask you, do you think Kelce's a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, I do. I think he should be considered for a Hall of Fame. Yeah, I mean, the guy, he's proven his durability over 10 years now in the league. 104 straight starts. If he comes back, he'll start number 105 next fall. I just think, he's been a Pro Bowl. He's been an All-Pro player. He won a Super Bowl. I absolutely think, I don't know how they judge centers. Like, maybe you count up his pancake blocks or something. I don't know. But I think, in my book, the way I would judge it, smart player, versatile player. Yes, I would think he should be in the Hall of Fame for sure.
Durability.
That was a Super Bowl speech.
He only had that 1 year under Chip Kelly where he was he had a bad year with injuries. But besides that, he's played almost every game every year of his career.
He is so tough, man. But look, this year he missed 8 snaps or something when he hyperextended his elbow, and he came back and played. And I was in a locker room on the road. I can't remember where it was when he had a knee issue, and they were unwrapping his leg, and I was watching the wrap come off, and his whole leg was black. It looked like it needed to be amputated immediately. I'm like, he could barely walk. They're helping him up off the bench. I'm looking at him like, dude, what? I didn't say it, but I'm thinking, dude, what are you doing playing, man? Your leg's going to fall off.
Give me a Perkins. Go back out.
Yeah. I mean, I just have so much respect for Kelce on so many levels. And it's funny talking to him now. It's almost like he's talking like he's a coach, talking about the young guys and how he's happy with what they're doing. And, he just talks like a coach now. And I think, if he wants to keep making money, not that he might need to, but, he's got 2 kids now, so he's going to need some kind of cash to support them. But if he wants to keep making money, I think coaching's definitely in his future.
Not the cash, just getting out of the house for a little bit. That's what he's going to
want.
Right. He just needs a new haircut. He's wearing, he's rocking that mullet, man. It's,
that's the Viking in him.
I wish I could rock the mullet, man. I would love to rock the mullet. If I had hair, I'd rock the mullet.
What mullet days are over, Ed?
mullet and Zubaz.
Yep.
So Ed, we don't want to keep you all night. You spent quite a bit with us here on a Friday night and drinking some beer. How's your hiney? How's your hiney feeling? Good.
I need a new chair. Actually, this chair is very hard on the hiney, but the beer's great. Loving it.
Good. Awesome.
Yeah.
As always, we want to thank you a ton for joining us tonight. And
fun, I appreciate it.
Yeah, and hopefully next time we can be back to normal and do this how we're supposed to do it. So,
well, when they hire a coach, hit me up. Maybe I'll come back on and give you my opinion on it for whatever it's worth.
Whenever, Ed.
Yeah.
Whenever.
All right.
We're down with that. We got it marked down.
All right, cool. All right, fellas.
Have a good night.
Right,
Thanks so much, man.
Peace.
Thank you so much. You can follow Ed on Twitter, as I mentioned, on Kracz KRACZE at on Twitter, and follow him on all his stories on Sports Illustrated, and follow him on Facebook. So Ed Kracz, great guest as always. I just gotta say I still hate. That's the first time, by the way, we've been able to have 5 people on the screen at once during the show.
Oh yeah. How about it?
But I just hate doing the Zoom thing, man. Like with the guests like that, like you know what I mean. It doesn't. Nothing against that. It did, but it's
just the whole feel of it.
The whole feel is just not the same as it always is. You know.
Yeah, but you know what? I'll tell you what. It's better. It's better than just a phone call.
Oh, I would agree with that.
Yeah. So, I mean, most of the interviews that we've had, even when we were face-to-face with everyone, I mean, Ed's the only one that's come and visited us in studio. So, you know, I don't.
It's true.
I like it. So,
no, it was cool. It was good. It's just the back and forth is hard because, you know, if Mike's talking and Gary's talking, you can't hear it, and you both had points, and it was just like frustrating to me. But hey, you know what? That's what it is, man. There's nothing we can do about it. It's the time we live in right now, and like I said, we hope to.
You know what, Sean? You jumped in.
Wait a
minute, Mike's got a question. All right, Gary, you got a question? That helped.
Yeah, I mean, the moderation or the moderating of it and stuff like that. Yeah, so I mean, it's.
I'm grabbing a cigarette, guys.
All right.
Like you directing what was going on, Sean. That was right in time, brother.
It's just you know, it's just a little difficult, and but you know, we're getting feedback. Hey, you guys, you know, good stuff from Ed. It was enjoyable. Thanks, Jason Mays, and Mark said it was cool. His format works well, and then told me to shut the fuck up. Steve said good show, Ed. Yeah, Ed's always great. He's always a great interview. He's
it's never dull when he's on. Never.
But
I meant to,
go ahead.
I actually all week. Jason Mays, I feel bad. I haven't checked on him. I didn't check on him all week. The Steelers, the beatdown that the Steelers had. I know I texted. I on Mark. I was like, did anybody check on him because he had like a half day, and then he showed up late from his half day on Monday, and it was he was distraught. And now the Flyers are beating the Penguins, and they beat them already. I mean, it's just been
Oh no! Yeah,
they got to play them 8 times. That season will get very fucking chippy.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun hockey season. We'll get the hockey. We'll get the sex a little bit. We'll just wrap up some Eagles talk here because we still have a little bit more to get to. I think, as far as you know, overall. Jason said this show sucks.
I'm out.
But you know, just in talking about the Doug Peterson thing, I agree 100% with what Ed said. That the stubbornness is ultimately what got him fired. Look, again, before Ed came on, we were talking about. We were actually, you know, you guys were arguing about it, and among other things. But you know, what was it that caused it? I think it doesn't matter what exactly caused it. I think Ed hit it. It was like the stubbornness caused it. Whether it was promoting, you know, guys who probably shouldn't be promoted, or if it was just going with Jalen Hurts over Wentz because you saw him for, you know, 4 games. And by the way, in those 4 games, only in 2 halves did he actually play like lights out.
Yeah.
The rest of the time he played, he was like, like this is kind of more of the same. We didn't really, and I'm not shitting on Jalen Hurts. I'm not saying that Jalen Hurts is not going to be a good quarterback in this league. Denny Boyer said Eagles are done, move on. That's coming from Packers fans. So, you know, just
he's a Packers fan, huh?
He's a Packers fan. But you know, just to basically say, I agree with that. I think the stubbornness is what did Doug Peterson in. But I didn't ask you guys this, and I think this is a good way to kind of segue. Now that Doug is gone, how does it make you feel?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm pretty jaded about the Eagles right now. I mean, I'm not excited. Not excited about the team at all this year. I'm not looking forward to next year.
I'm sorry. Maybe I should have reconstructed my question. What are your feelings about Doug Peterson? That's what I mean. Now that he's gone, are you glad that he's gone, or are you kind of like, man, it kind of sucks? Like that's what I meant to ask. I'm sorry.
I'm probably more mad. I know I've been kind of a little bit. I'm kind of more mad. It kind of sucks. I'm kind of more. I kind of wanted him to have at least another year. Now I don't know with the stubbornness. I don't know. Maybe he's right to be stubborn with the way that things run. But
I'm sorry, the Flyers just got a power play goal. They got 2 more power play goals tonight.
Nice. Good job.
Nice. No, so we. Yeah, I think that it's that's what bothers. That's what my thoughts
I'm sorry,
are.
Mike.
Yeah, it's fine.
Konecny has a hat trick.
Oh wow!
Shit! Wow.
So yeah, that's my thought. I would have liked to have seen him have another year. I think that this is the first truly bad year. I mean, it's gone downhill, but this is the first truly bad year that he's had. But then again, I feel that this team's a mess that it doesn't even matter.
So,
how about you? Go ahead, Ryan.
Where I'm at on that, it's hard to take away the Super Bowl year. It's hard to do that. Thank you. You'll always be indebted to me. You'll always hold a special place in my heart. You brought us our ring, and in our life, we might not see another one. So, thank you, dog. But besides the Super Bowl year, you're an under 500 coach, and our franchise quarterback has regressed. What's more important here? Carson Wentz getting right or keeping Doug Peterson? That's where I'm at with it. So thank you for the memories. Thank you. But it just was, for whatever reason it is, the franchise quarterback is more important to get right than keeping Doug Peterson. So,
you know what it is?
Thanks. Thank you, but see ya.
I'm just going to say, Gary, hold on 1 second. I don't know if I could have said it any better. Those are my exact thoughts, Ryan. 100%. Go ahead, Gary.
Like Doug Peterson, he's a likable guy. Like you kind of feel bad what happened to him, and you think to yourself, wow, what the fuck happened since the Super Bowl? But at the same token, as a fan, you're like, well, this needed to happen. It was time. But you know what? I feel bad. I'm sorry this happened to you, Doug. Thanks for the memories. But it's time we move on to something different.
All right. Speaking of moving on, I'm throwing you guys a little curveball. We're going to play a little stay or go. These are the Eagles' free agents. And do they stay or do they go? Should I stay? I'm not allowed to play music anymore, by the way.
Oh, so you got completely cut off from that?
Well, not necessarily, but I'm just, I'm a little hesitant to do that while we're on YouTube. YouTube's very tough with it. All right, so here are the pending free agents for the Philadelphia Eagles, and we just answered: are they here back? Are they here next year, or are they gone? Jason says Ryan is right, and Doug got a raw deal. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Doug did kind of get a raw deal because Howie should have been the one to go.
Yes.
As much as I don't think that Doug's a great coach, I think he's a good coach. I think he's an NFL head coach, and I think Howie Roseman is not a NFL GM, and I think that's where.
Yep.
Now, Peterson as a coach was not managed correctly.
Right. All right. So Jason Peters, gone. Right. Gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jalen Mills.
I think I think he's back.
I think
he's back. They do this to him.
Yeah. Like I'm in the minority. What we talked about this. Jalen Mills is a solid D-back.
He's a solid player.
Yes.
He's not a lights out guy, but he's a guy who'll help you compete.
Shut down D-backs don't grow on trees. He's a solid D-back.
He's gonna this is his second time now. He signed a 1-year deal or 2-year deal last time, I think it was.
Yeah, he's not signing another short-term deal.
I think he's gone. I hate to say it, I don't think they can keep him.
You know what? Let me reiterate. I'm sorry. I think he should be back.
But he's not.
Right, he's not going to be.
Okay. Mike, did you have an answer on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's young enough to where he could be part of the rebuild, so I think they might try to keep him.
Okay. Nate Sutfield.
Go on. Yeah.
Go on. Yeah, I mean, he's got to have a shot somewhere else. I mean, he's going to be he's not going to be a third stringer. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that was a dress rehearsal.
But I mean, he's got the
year
on a team.
All right, Alex Singleton.
He stays.
He stays.
I think you got to keep him.
Yep.
I don't think there's. I think out of this list, looking down, he'd be the one guy that I'm looking at this list going. If you don't bring him back, I'm pissed because he actually showed that he can be a linebacker for this team.
Yeah.
He led the team of tackles. He was on every play. I mean, he was all over the field.
He's a hitter,
and he's got long hair. And that's a good look for him.
You got to bring him back.
Nickel Roby Coleman.
Gone.
No.
Yeah, he's sucked.
I don't know if you can get him cheap. I mean, where else do they go? Where else did I go? I mean, yeah,
anywhere.
Parker Von Wallace. Yeah. All right, go on.
Vinny Curry.
Go on.
He's too old.
Duke Riley.
Go on.
Yeah, I don't see any reason to keep him.
Gary, going after your heart here. Corey Clement.
Go on.
Exit stage right even.
Yeah. No, I don't.
He's done.
Again,
the guy that Gary and I trashed his first training camp, Cameron Johnston. We were screaming at him from this fucking guy. Caught him. He fucking sucks. We're yelling. We're all drunk.
Dude, how do you not?
Is there a it's a punter. Like
we were all right.
But
he
how
can
do you
angle
not?
his punts.
No. I mean, like if he stays or goes, I mean, I'm sure that you could find somebody that's.
He's actually been a good punter for him.
Yeah,
how do you not bring back the guy that was your best player last year?
Yeah.
So I'm fine with them keeping him. I'm not excited if they're keeping the punter.
No,
if they got rid of him and found somebody else, I don't think
I think they should keep him.
Yeah, I think so too. Boston Scott.
Keep.
Sure.
Keep.
Yeah, to be cheap.
He should be. I mean,
yeah. You're running back.
What are you going to pay him? $2 million?
Yeah, you should probably bring him back. I think we all agree on this one. Nate Gary.
Come on, man. Next one. Who's next?
All right.
Yeah.
Greg Ward.
Keep.
Yeah. Keep him. I mean,
I
don't know if he's a starter, but
it's gonna be cheap. It's got to be cheap.
Again, $2 million. Like, come on.
How about Strap? Crevon LeBlanc.
No, I'm done with the LeBlanc fucking thing.
He got hurt, man.
I don't care. I'm done with it.
Rashard Rodgers. I think you have to. Because
if you're getting rid of Ertz.
Yeah. Ty McGill or T.Y. McGill. I don't know. I don't even know who the fuck that is.
Who is that?
Wasn't he one of the linebackers?
I don't know who you. I have no idea who Ty McGill is. Literally, I've never heard that name until just now. Rudy Ford.
Or who?
Rudy Ford. All right, I'm just gonna go. Rudy Ford, Josh Perkins, and then Hassan Ridgeway. Those are your last three.
They're all gone.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So that's a big chunk of your free agents that are gone. So yeah, that's something. Before we move on from football, I'll do a playoff picks for.
No, hold on.
To
piggyback on that.
Yeah.
Let's do three veterans.
Piggyback.
Yeah, piggyback on that. Let's do three veterans. Fletcher Cox.
Go on.
Trade it. I think he stays because his cap hits too much. I don't think he can. It depends what you can get with him in a trade, but you're not cutting him. That's for sure. So it depends if you have a kid taker. You might have a taker for Fletcher Cox. Maybe.
Alshon Jeffrey.
He's gone.
Well, he's gone. We know that.
He's gone.
His cap hits. He doesn't have this big of a cap hit. Finally.
He still has a big cap hit.
No, I don't think so.
No,
I think this last year's not guaranteed.
No, they restructured his shit to make it easier to get rid of him.
Yep.
Okay. All right. We all agree on Zach Ertz, right?
He's not here.
Yeah, he's gonna be gone.
It sucks, dude. I love Ertz.
Flyers scored again.
Damn, was it 6-3 again?
5-3.
5-3.
5-3. I think they scored. Yeah, they scored. Yeah.
Christ. I saw it 4-2.
3-5, 5-3.
No, 5-2. I'm sorry. It's 5-2.
3-5. 5-5.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
I forgot to tell you, I have actual audio. I have actual audio of Doug Peterson's last comments when he was heading out the door when Jeffrey said you're fired.
I have people skills.
And then they cut him loose.
I will say one thing at that meeting, right? Apparently Carson Wentz was there. I hope.
Wait,
Yeah.
Wentz was at the meeting?
Yeah.
With Lori and Carson Wentz was sitting in the.
No, he wasn't in the room.
I don't think he was in the room when the decision came, but there was a meeting with Peterson, Wentz, and Lori.
What the fuck? I didn't hear any of that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I do hope that Doug Peterson turned to him and said, grow the fuck up. Grow the fuck up.
Oh, man. Wow. I didn't know anything. I didn't hear anything about that. That's nuts. All right, so the teams that are in the playoffs, we got the Rams taking on the number 1 seed, Green Bay Packers, and Denny and Linda I know are watching right now. They're probably doing cartwheels right now. The Packers are number 1 seed. What's the line on that? 6.5. Packers are favorite.
I don't think they cover, but I'm taking the Packers.
The Packers win that game.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Something about the Rams defense. But they have no offense.
One thing you do have to take into consideration, though, you know Jalen Ramsey this year, the whole year, gave up 320 yards receiving.
Yeah. Yep. And he's gonna be blanketing Devontae Adams.
Right.
Who else is gonna do?
I know Ramsey's great, but but he's going up against Devontae Adams. That's going to be a battle, but I just don't think. I just look at the Packers. I just think they have too much. I just don't know how they beat the Rams or how the Rams.
Aaron Rodgers has this way of putting the ball in the only spot it can be for him to catch it.
It's going to be a Robert Tonyan game, guys.
Yeah, that's right. That'll help you, huh, Sean?
Yeah, I don't really care about that right now. I'm already done in that. Fantasy playoff draft. We lost both our quarterbacks, so it's over.
But yeah, again, I don't think the Packers cover, but I'm taking the Packers to win.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna take the Packers, but I think it's. I could see the Rams winning if the Rams had any offense whatsoever. I mean, Akers is good, but that's it. I mean, Woods, Cup,
Cup's
no
backed up too. Cup's backed up.
So
we got the Ravens and the Bills. Ravens are 3-point underdogs to the Bills. Josh Allen.
That's a game of the week.
That probably is the game of the week.
Yeah.
Maybe.
When we went into the playoffs, I picked the Bills to beat the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. So I'm gonna keep with that. I'm gonna go with the Bills. But I would not be surprised at all if the Ravens win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ryan, I think I'm basically right with you on this.
I'm the same. I think the Bills win, but I think I actually take the Ravens to cover.
Yeah, I mean, it could be like a 1-point game or something.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun game, man.
So that's Saturday night, 8:15. Garrett, what do you think?
I like the Ravens, man.
Okay. I can't argue with you there at all. No, I can't argue. Probably a stinker. I watch it'll be the best game. The Browns take on the Chiefs. The Browns are 10-point underdogs.
10 points.
Yeah, I'm taking the Chiefs to cover. I'm taking the Chiefs to cover all day. I think they light them up. It's like a 48-20 type game.
I mean, that could go either way. That could be a weird game. I mean, I love Andy Reid, but we all know what happens with Andy Reid. He's won a Super Bowl last year. I don't think he gets past this game.
You think the Browns beat the Chiefs?
I think the Browns upset the Chiefs.
Wow. That's a bold statement.
Oh, fuck you. fuck? Who the fuck?
You can get some good money on that money line if you bet it.
Yeah, but bro, you really feel that way.
Bruh.
You got $100, man. You should lay on it.
Man.
Yeah,
I think there's no way. I think the Chiefs in a complete blowout.
I mean, I think the Chiefs win. I don't know if they cover or not. I guess I'll say they'll cover.
It's hard to do that in playoffs, man.
Bruh.
Just because Mark Andrews.
Bruh.
I'm gonna go. I kind of agree with Ryan. I think it's a blowout. I think the Chiefs just run away with it. I do think. Well, we'll see what happens next week. It's hard to repeat in the NFL. That's all I'm gonna say. Buccaneers, Tom Brady taking on Drew Brees. Quarterbacks 1 and 2 as far as yardage and touchdowns and all that stuff. Go at it on Sunday night. The line is 3. Saints favored by 3. That's gonna be a hell of a game. So that's why I'm like, Bills, Ravens is gonna be good. Man, I don't know.
So I'm taking the Bucs outright.
I'm taking Saints.
It is hard to beat a team 3 times in the same year, and I don't like the way Drew Brees is throwing the ball at all. I'm taking the Bucs outright.
I think that the Saints defense is too good. I think that between Kamara and Thomas, that they got enough offensive weapons. Although the Saints seem to let everybody down every year, but I'm going to take the Saints to win and cover.
To bet against Tom Brady in the playoffs is a difficult task. I'm siding towards the Buccaneers here. I don't know what it is about them. I just think that it's going to be a Buccaneers, Packers, Rodgers, Brady, and it's a championship game.
Imagine
either
that.
way, Rodgers Brady or Rodgers Brees would be.
Yeah,
but imagine Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Lambeau Field for the NFC Championship game. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, I mean, because Breeze isn't as good outside, so. Right. But obviously Brady knows how to play outside, so.
Yeah, should be fun. So enjoy the games this weekend. NFL, that's gonna be a good time. I got to come up with some music or something because it's time for While You Were Drunk. And so if you missed it last week, basically there you go. That's good music. Just burp.
I'm gonna start jotting down some stories when I say
weird not having anybody come on you.
So basically, it's just a bunch of stories we're gonna go through. It's things that we're not gonna spend a lot of time on, but things we feel are worth mentioning. All right, I guess those guys aren't gonna fucking talk about it.
I guess it's me.
Like that Gary, but fucking leave. I'll be right back. Fucking assholes. All right, so hey, Scott, while you were drunk. Oh, see you guys. What the fuck?
What a fucking jitbag.
that was actually pretty good. All right. So the first story that I had jotted down this week was Nickelodeon. You had the Saints taking on the Bears on Nickelodeon. So I got to see some of the highlights. Mike, you saw a little bit of it. So what was some of the things?
No, I didn't see any of it. I just read an article about it.
Okay, so
and it was basically like ESPN article. The writer was basically like, I watched it and it was entertaining. I didn't see the offensive coordinators. I didn't have it like, is this guy going to be a head coach job? It was like a lot more kind of laid back and fun instead of it being such a, it was less professional and it was like
all serious. Right.
In West, Nate Burleson did a fantastic job with it. The one girl, they had like a 15-year-old girl that's prominent, one of the prominent actresses on
too old. She's too old
on Nickelodeon, and she asked questions about like what it's like to be tackled to Burleson, and he's able to kind of say it's like falling down the steps and hitting your leg on like every step down. One of them made the analogy. I think I was talking to you guys before we went on the air of, Drew Brees is like the kid in dodgeball that like always hits the target and stuff like that. So they kind of made it like that.
Little fun graphics and stuff.
Yeah, it was fun. It was analysis that a kid would understand. It's trying to get the kids into the sport a little bit.
It is slime. When this team scored a touchdown, there was slime graphics all over the field. And
you had SpongeBob between the
uprights.
The uprights when they kicked the field goal.
Cool.
The first down marker was like this neon bright kind of line. When they scored a touchdown, there was cannons that slimed the end zone after it. So
next year, they already made a proposal that the Cowboys would be played on Comedy Central.
Said that about the Eagles too.
Honestly, that's where I was going. Yeah.
Boogie Cousins. So last week,
I love that fucking name.
I mentioned about Boogie Cousins coming back his first game after tearing his ACL, and he got ejected. Well, guess what? He got ejected. He got it. Oh, Ryan's blowing his nose. Nice.
Hey,
Boogie. Oh, that's not the name of my kid.
That's not.
I'm gonna name him Boogie. He got ejected again for having a hard foul on LeBron. So now he's been ejected twice in the last week. At some point, something's gonna, he comes back and he does. I would imagine if he gets ejected again relatively soon, he's probably gonna be facing some music. I think it was actually a pretty hard foul too on LeBron. Like they said, he was going for the ball. Dude, he hit him right. I mean, he literally came over the top and just whacked him right in the face. It was pretty bad.
But at this point of his career, what the hell else does Boogie Cousins have to lose?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you know what? It's funny because Boogie Cousins called out James Harden for his professional.
Okay, he's
been on the team for about 6 games, and he's already calling out the best franchise player ever.
Polsky said Boogie is sticking around.
So he does have a first name, just so everybody knows.
Yeah.
It's not Boogie.
It's DeMarcus. Bill Belichick rejected the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Yeah.
He had a statement. I had it saved. I'm not reading it. But basically, he said, I have more important things going on right now. Pretty much. Steve said Boogie's basically on 1-year deals these days, isn't he? And he's right. But Bill Belichick basically rejected the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
He went up a notch on my belt. That puts him at notch 1.
I was surprised especially because the owner there, Kraft and Trump are big friends. I was surprised at the response. So, Darren Sproles is being inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame out of Kansas State, where he owned 21 school records.
Oh, wow.
That still stand. He had 25. 4 of them were broken since he's retired, since he left college, which is a long time ago. He's been in the NFL for a long time. So that was pretty cool. I thought I wanted to mention that. We don't want to forget about Darren Sproles, man. He was a great player here, a great player for the Saints and Chargers for so many years. So congratulations, Darren. He was fun to watch, wasn't he?
Oh my God! In his heyday, when he was with the Saints, dude, like his first 2 or 3, well, actually, like the last year or 2 in San Diego, and then the first 2 or 3 years with the Saints.
That catch against Pittsburgh when he was here.
Oh yeah! Oh my gosh! Yeah. Dick Vermeil. Again, we're playing or going through While You Were Drunk. I think the stories you may have missed while you were drunk. Dick Vermeil put his input in the Deshaun Watson situation. Basically said that Deshaun Watson needs to change his diapers. Basically called him a baby and that he has no right to make any decisions on the team. Decisions on the team. And basically said he's being a big baby and said it's time to change his diapers. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree with him.
Bunch of child.
I don't know exactly where I want to say. I think Deshaun Watson has a little bit. I mean, he traded everything, and he was still going, and then he traded DeAndre Hopkins.
I think he has a legitimate gripe.
Yeah, all he wanted was Eric Bieniemy interviewed. That's it. That's all he wanted. So, What's he supposed to think? They've done nothing to build a team around them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if there's an organization that's in worse shape than the Eagles, if there's an organization that you can look at and like, if the Eagles can look at and laugh, it's Houston.
Right. Like I agree with Mike. I think he has a legitimate gripe.
Mm-hmm. I don't know about legitimate. I think his mouth is kind of going on a little too far with it. I just don't think he has. He doesn't have any right to, tell teams, or tell the GM of a team what should and shouldn't be happening, who they should hire, all that. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't think it's necessary. I think
you're a player. You're not an executive.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he went about it the wrong way, but like I get, I get where he's coming from. Like I get it. You've traded everything.
No.
You don't think that Tom Brady had some say in some of the stuff that went on?
Deshaun Watson is not Tom Brady.
Deshaun Watson's a franchise quarterback.
At this point in his career, he might be better than Brady was at the same point.
So that's why I think that might be a little unfair, because I don't know. That's just two different situations. Tom Brady has been established for so long; he had rings. I don't know. Maybe that's unfair on my part to say that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a touchy situation. I mean, you could see with like any side of it.
And then my final story for
I just hope he doesn't end up with the fucking Washington football team. That's all I'll say.
I can see that too.
Yeah,
I can see that. My final story is one I know you guys want me to bring up. Von Miller, Denver Broncos defensive lineman, is under investigation. And if you just look at the story that Von Miller is under investigation, the story's kind of vague. And
detail.
We're not so sure because this was pretty recent. About a week ago, texts were released between Von Miller and his ex-girlfriend. He basically told his ex-girlfriend that he is praying for a miscarriage and that he wishes that she would fucking disappear and get an abortion. He also called her a fucking liar. I should have left your dog ass in the streets.
But I mean,
is that enough for a criminal investigation?
I mean, that's just words. He didn't assault her.
She says, since you all want to know, here's your MVP. I'm tired of protecting you. Here's who you are. Cut it out, kid. He denied the text. He said they're not true. Fake news. The reality of somebody leaving you makes people wake up literally crazy. It's a classic trap. I'm going to say this. There was other shit. Apparently, there was some other text that went on. Maybe she's claiming abuse. I don't know what the whole story is, but if only she had ordered from Flushy.com,
straight up
happened. And actually, as I said it, look what just popped up. Look what just popped up. Steve said, "For what? Dressing stupid." Yeah, I don't know the whole story, but I'm willing to bet, being that those texts came through rather recently. I'm thinking it might have something to do with that. Look, we don't know the situation, so it's hard to comment on it. But hey, if you didn't burn his fucking chicken, maybe you've been all right. Maybe this wouldn't have happened. So
are we talking Kyrie Irving on the Why You Were Drunk, or are we just gonna wait until we
that's
saw
all you? Go for it. Let's close it out with the Kyrie Irving story, because why not?
It's in a bucket. Where's my chicken?
So Kyrie Irving, if you've been drunk for the whole week, has been missing in action from the Nets, and no one knows why.
Hold on.
All right.
Oh, right. Yeah, so
Ryan doing the pose.
Yeah, I'm like
Kyrie Irving was on some promotion for a I don't know what senator, congresswoman, or something like that in New York, showing support and helping in the middle, like right before the game started, for the Nets when he's completely healthy and could play, but instead he's promoting that.
They haven't even heard from him. They can't get in touch with him.
The plot thickens after they signed, after they traded for Harden. They haven't been able to reach him. So apparently he wasn't on board with that. He's still pissed about the Steve Nash coach decision. So I guess he played a couple of games.
I got to pee, fellas.
And he played a couple games, and then after that decided that he didn't want to do it. He doesn't like playing second fiddle to Durant, maybe. But he, signed the multi-year deal with Durant there, kind of this form the team. So, yeah, I mean, it's a mess. Kyrie Irving is a mess. I don't know if he's going to get traded or what they're going to do with him now. But apparently, who knows when he's coming back?
Yeah, we'll get into the actually, I mean, we can do it now if you want. Well, we can do it later. Let's do it later because I want to talk Flyers first. But with the Harden trade and all that stuff, I mean, it's a situation where you had the big three, and now
you're back to big two.
Yeah, you might be going down to two because Kyrie doesn't want to play basketball anymore. It's just a weird situation.
And and the thing is they gave up a ton of their other players for it. So, I don't know who else they have on that team right now.
Gary, weren't you going to do Corner Pop Popcorn tonight?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
Gary,
we'll do Corner Pop Popcorn now.
Yeah, he wants to head out in a little bit, so he's got to work tomorrow. So we'll wait until Ryan comes back in a second. But yeah, we'll go through that trade in a second and see. Obviously we'll talk Sixers and see if the Sixers should have given up with the Houston Rockets gave up or with the Nets gave up to get James Harden. So
okay. We all know our decision on this, but we'll tell the world to see what they think.
Right. Yeah.
Our 5 listeners, the world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, go ahead, Garrett. So, and this is another new segment we started last week. We started in 1970. So, if you were with us for the last year, we were doing Corner Pub Jukebox, which was music over the last 50 years. Now we're doing movies. So these are the top grossing movies of 1971.
At number 10, a movie called Walkabout.
Never heard of it.
Number 9, The Conformist. Never heard of that one either.
Conformist. That sounds familiar now.
Number 8, Clute. This one you might know. Number 7, The Andromeda Strain.
The what?
Andromeda Strain.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I've ever seen it, but I've recognized the title.
Here's number 6, Dirty Harry.
Oh.
You got to ask yourself, do you feel lucky? Number 5, Harold and Maude. 1971. Number 4, Straw Dogs.
Straw Dogs. I know Straw Dogs, yeah.
That was remade. Yeah, it was remade.
Yeah, it was.
Number 3, The Last Picture Show.
The Last Picture. Oh, yeah, I know The Last Picture. Yeah, yep.
Number 2, The French Connection.
That's a Gene Hackman. That's one of his best.
And in 1971, number 1, A Clockwork Orange.
Oh
wow!
I got
actually the number 1 movie, really.
I got to tell you about Clockwork Orange. I think that movie's grossly overrated. I
always thought of it as a cult classic, not a number 1 type movie.
I never heard of it.
You never heard of it?
Stanley Kubrick, Malcolm McDowell is. Dude, you've had you. How do you not ever hear a Clockwork Orange? Huh?
Now I'm gonna have to watch it.
Yeah, you have to watch it.
Yeah, you should watch it. See what you think. I think the movie's overrated. I think it's maybe it's just because it's dated, but I don't know.
It was a weird movie.
Yeah.
And some honorable mentions: Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Where was that?
Raining? Is it snowing?
I can't believe that's not a top 10.
Blowing.
Number 12, Mike.
Number 12. Okay.
A speck of light is showing, but the danger must be growing. Yes. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Fiddler on the Roof.
Fiddler on the Roof.
Number 17.
Richmond. Yeah.
Number 20, the original Shaft.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take it.
So not to cut you off, but I'm sorry it took me.
But your backs, that's what you do.
But Couturier is going to be out for a little bit. He hurt his shoulder.
Oh,
He's having an MRI tomorrow.
that's soft, man. That's going to hurt the power play.
It's going to hurt the whole team.
And then the last but not least, 1971, last honorable mention is Willard.
Willard.
Wait, that's 1971?
1971, brother.
Willard?
Willard.
I thought there was an 80s movie.
Nope.
Oh, I'm thinking of Willow.
I remember that movie.
Oh, I hated that fucking movie. Willard. Is that the original one? Like Rats or something?
Yes. A social
and they remade that.
A social misfit uses only his friends, his pet rats.
Yeah. They remade that with that fucking Crispin Glover.
To exact revenge on his tormentors.
All right, I was saying Willow.
Ernest Borgnine.
Those fucking ugly ass midgets.
Ernest Borgnine stars in it.
Oh, okay. All right. That was Corner Pub Popcorn, 1971. So we knew about, I don't know, half the movies, I guess. Yo, your brother, Ryan. Your brother never heard of A Clockwork Orange.
What?
No, I never heard of that movie.
Damn, open your horizons, bro. Jesus.
Actually, open your eyes is actually a good phrase to see that movie.
True.
Yeah, bro.
They put the clamps on his eyes.
Oh my God. Gary, watch that tomorrow.
What's it, a thrower?
It's a psychedelic fucking.
It's
thing.
like
I didn't like it, but that's just me.
It's like a futuristic kind of, I don't know, Stanley Kubrick movie.
Yeah, it's like a psychological, I don't want to say thriller, but you gotta watch that, man.
I'll check it out.
You know, I'm sure we'll. I'm trying to think. But there's some other movies that kind of go in that realm with me, like that I just didn't. So French Connection was what, number 2 that year?
Yeah, that's
a good movie.
One.
But there's
I
a couple.
actually never seen that.
But like kind of along the lines of like A Clockwork Orange, like Apocalypse Now. Maybe that's coming up in a couple of years while we do this. I thought that's another movie that I was like, nah.
You didn't like that?
Nah.
Wow.
See, I would think A Clockwork Orange, maybe something like Trainspotting is in that realm.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that either.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Ryan, you never seen French Connection?
Mm-mm.
Watch it.
Yeah, Gene Hackman.
It's a Gene Hackman fucking classic, dude.
So we had Gene Hackman and Gene Wilder in our 1971 movies.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Well,
that's good shit.
Hold on. Papa She wants to say something.
All right.
Everybody,
Yeah.
You look under the screen, Papa.
Ask him what.
What's one of the classic lines in that movie?
What's a classic line in the French Connection?
Oh, tell us, Dad.
Tell us, Dad.
Pick your feet in Poughkeepsie.
What is it?
You pick your feet in Poughkeepsie.
You pick your feet in Poughkeepsie.
You pick your feet in Poughkeepsie.
They don't know what that is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Classic line.
So while you were just talking about Sean Couturier, the Flyers kicked off their season this week, and they have 2 straight wins over the Pittsburgh Penguins. 6-3 and what? What was the final of this game?
5-2.
5-2. Damn. That's a good start, man. The power play has looked great.
They got 2 more tonight. They were actually outshot on their power play. 7-4, and they got 2 goals.
Wow.
Do you know
Carter Hart.
Carter Hart played well.
Their first game against the Penguins was the most viewed Flyers game in 12 years.
And it's the biggest regular season opening game ever.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty wild.
That's great for the NHL, because usually with the NHL, the NHL's revenue doesn't come from TV.
So
and if
you're
you know,
saying that
the game was at 5:30, by the way, and that game was the biggest regular season, most viewed regular season opening game ever.
So you're saying the Flyers game was bigger than the playoff games too, viewership wise?
Yes.
No.
No.
Let me say it for the third time. The biggest regular season opening game ever. Regular
For the
season
Flyers or for
opening
any
game ever.
Any shot.
But Ryan before that said it was the biggest viewership game for Flyers.
Ryan didn't say it.
No, I didn't say it. Sean said it.
Gary said it.
Or Gary said it. I'm sorry.
All right, well, Gary.
It was the biggest viewing for the Philadelphia Flyers in 12 years.
And that includes the playoffs.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I was trying to get at. Nothing.
You could tell people are.
And I don't even know where it's going. I just hope I find it along the way.
But you could tell people are. I mean, what else is there to do?
Fuck that stat. Let's move on. They played good. They played well, man. The power play looks good. Farabee looked great in game one, and I didn't get to watch most of the game tonight because it fucking cut out on me. I could have went over and reloaded, but I'm too busy talking to you jagaloons. And Konechny, you said Konechny had a hat trick?
Yes. Giroux, apparently he was +3 tonight. He had 2 assists. He had almost 20 minutes of ice time. Voracek had 2 assists. He was +2, I believe it said.
What about Kevin Hayes?
It was a Kevin Hayes game. He had his chances.
Yeah,
Missed that a couple times. It was a Kevin Hayes game.
He scored a garbage time goal in the first game.
Goal, brother.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He got one of them shitty goals too.
Yeah, bad turnover. So it's funny you say that.
Sidney Crosby made a second-year goaltender look like a second-year goaltender.
Yeah, because Carter Hart come out of the net, tried to play the puck.
He baited him.
Yeah, he got caught.
He's the only one that could have probably scored that goal on Hart there. But Gustafson in the first game could have had 2 goals. He actually got one. I think it was credited. I forget who was credited to. In the first,
was that the one that went to Patrick?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe went to Patrick. But he scored the first goal of the season, and they were both on the power play. And that's very encouraging to have a guy quarterback in your power play unit and leading 2 goals there. But then Gustafson had a bad turnover later that led to the goal. I think that tied it at 3. This is the first game, by the way.
Yeah, beginning of the third period.
Yeah, they recovered, and they won the game. Like I said, 6-3.
But if he takes that power play to the next level, Sean, that's what we need.
That's what did him in last year.
Yeah,
last year in the playoffs, even the series they won against Montreal, like they couldn't generate anything on the power play.
0 power plays in that fucking bubble playoff game.
I'm still apprehensive. I know it's been a good 2 games, and I hate to say it, they scored 11 goals in 2 games, which is fantastic. I just, this is 2 games and consistency, and I'm just worried about the scoring, and I'm worried about the power play, and I don't know if they're going to be consistent enough. I don't know.
Let's see where they're at in a month.
I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing Patrick and Lindblom gel with their lines.
I mean, I wasn't expecting Farabee to go off like he did in the first game. That's fantastic. Morgan Frost is another one, if he can come through and produce for him. And Nolan Patrick. I mean, I know you just said it, but if Nolan Patrick can produce for this team like they drafted him to, dude,
they drafted him to be that bona fide 40-goal years guy. And if he turns into that, man, it's just going to bring the rest of the roster.
These are all young guys that we're talking about.
Yeah,
you're not going to see him shine early. Like, it's going to take time. But when you get closer to the mid end of the season, I think that's when you'll see him.
Mm-hmm.
If he's in the lineup, if everything goes well.
Right. There's a lot of what ifs in any sport, bro.
What if
I hear you, but it's a big what if with Nolan Patrick if he can come back from this fucking concussion thing.
What if the Eagles ran the ball more, Gar?
Yeah, what if they lined up in the I formation more, bro?
Man, I'd fucking cream my pants.
What if Elijah Holyfield came in and was a starter, bro?
No, I'm not worried about him no more.
Oh, you're not.
No.
So he's out of your ear.
Yeah,
Oh, that's it.
that's it. He's done.
Must be weird not having anybody come on you.
Yeah, he's done until you see him in fucking training camp next year. Yo, Elijah, how old you feel, man?
It was
just break off that 30-yard run in preseason against players.
He could be that Corey Clement replacement, man. Give him the ball.
Good night, fellas. I got work in the morning.
Shine box.
All right, Garrett.
No, man, they're taking him off the practice squad. Do you think he's going to start?
That's
He's
great.
on the practice squad for a reason.
Oh, you're serious? You're out, bro?
Yeah, he has to work tomorrow. Yeah.
All right, homie. I'll talk to you, bro.
Good
All right, guy.
Get the fuck out of here. He's still on. I just kicked him out.
Okay, bye.
Hold on. He lied. I cut him off, and he's laughing. I can see him in the lobby laughing. I was gonna put it back on, and then he cut himself out. Get the fuck out of here.
That was great. He just swiped off the. He's like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And you see him swipe off.
Shit. So, all right. So why don't we finish up here with the 76ers because well, you know what? Why don't we talk about this? Why don't we do this, Mike? Let's talk about the Harden trade. Why don't we segue into that because that can lead into the Sixers. James Harden was traded finally after a couple months of bitching and whining and throwing balls at players and all kinds of shit
and getting fat.
And getting fat.
Dude, that picture was great. With him he comes showing up and he's like just fat.
Kyrie Irving missing poster.
He basically ate himself out of Houston.
Yep.
And not with
NBA. It's the NBA, dude. The NBA is I love basketball. I love it. But the NBA
inmates run the asylum, man.
It's a fucking joke.
Yep.
And he got exactly the place that he wanted to go, and they got a king's ransom for him, even though he had the team over a barrel.
I'll be back, guys.
Dude, the fucking Nets aren't going to have a first-round pick till 2030.
Yeah, it's 2028, I believe.
Yeah, that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
Or they'll have a first-round pick, but it'll be the worst between theirs
and
four of them.
And where Houston's at right now. You know what I mean? It's
where the Nets are going to be in 3 years.
Yeah, 5 years. Yeah. So Houston will probably have a lottery pick the next 2 or 3 years, and then probably have the Nets lottery pick 2-3 years after that.
Right.
So as they're building and getting better, they're going to have 2-3 lottery picks still.
And the Nets are going to suck, and they're not going to be able to get a player to get in there to actually do anything about it because it's just they're not going to have picks.
And they also got Victor Oladipo.
Mm-hmm.
Kudos to the Rockets, man.
Yeah, for a player that had him over the barrel that they absolutely had to get rid of, they got a king's ransom.
Yeah,
and there's people that are saying that the Rockets were the losers and the Nets were the winners because they got the best player.
No way. And again, I'll say shame on the NBA for letting a trade like this happen.
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy, dude. This is nuts. Sixers have seriously dodged a bullet. I'm glad James Harden's not here.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of a little bit down on Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
All of us are a little bit down on Simmons, but I'm not sure if it was maybe a swap for Harden and Simmons, you might want to give it a shot. But man, you're talking Simmons and Maxey and maybe Thibault and draft picks or something crazy.
No way. If it was Simmons and maybe the Sixers couldn't have generated them picks anyway. Because
they don't have a first round pick.
They do, but if it was pick swaps, the Rockets would just keep their pick. Because of where the Sixers are at right now. You know what I mean? So nothing would change with the swaps.
Well, I mean, the swaps are later in the year, so I mean, the Nets are in the same. The Sixers and Nets would be they're in the same position. What makes you think?
Not in the future. In 5 years, the Sixers probably still won't be in the lottery. The Nets will.
So you're saying that you don't think that the Sixers are going to be in the lottery because, you're expecting Embiid to be healthy enough to continue on.
Well, even if it's not, like 5 years down from now, the Sixers shouldn't be in the lottery.
Well, I guess if they had Harden and Harden was gone, and they had Embiid and Embiid was gone, then you're talking
right.
Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Right. But it's just, again, shame on the NBA for letting a trade like this go down. They traded their whole front court. They traded. They don't have a first round pick till what you said, Mike.
2028 will be the next time that they get to not have a pick or swap a pick.
Right. So
then there's Cleveland gave a Milwaukee pick in there. They gave up LeVert. They gave up Allen.
Dudley. They don't have Dinwiddie. They're like, so okay. So they got James Harden. Kyrie Irving's a nutcase. So
Durant's kind of a prima donna too. I mean,
a little bit.
So
I'll tell you what, things go sour, he's out.
Yeah. So
and he's probably on one of those deals that they could get rid of him too, or that he could walk too.
So for right now, the Nets are much watched TV. I can't wait to watch the Nets play. I can't because I just want to see it. Them guys on the court together, I want to see it. But push comes to shove. This team in the playoffs. Like, yes, you got James Harden, who might be the most prolific scorer in NBA history. But who's playing defense on that team with no front court and no back?
Right. Has Harden won a championship yet? Right. He had Russell Westbrook playing next to him, and he couldn't win.
And Chris Paul.
And Chris Paul. And Dwight
Howard in his prime.
Right. And he couldn't win with those guys. You know, James Harden apparently got Dwight Howard traded from Houston because he wasn't passing the ball. That's how much of a fucking prima donna James Harden. First of all, James Harden in Brooklyn, that's going to be fun. All those clubs, you know, going clubbing with Kyrie if they get along. I mean, who knows if they get along? I don't know.
Kyrie may never play basketball again. For the Nets.
I don't know if Kyrie even gets along with anybody now. Now I tell you what, if you made, you want me to make a list of 5 or 10 guys that I can't stand in sports, Kyrie's on that list.
Yep.
I cannot stand that dude.
And I don't care. Like, if he was on the Sixers, I'd absolutely hate him. Him being on their rivals, I'm like, good.
Yeah, and don't want to say good for me, but I called it, dude. Like this.
Oh, good for you.
Kyrie Irving's a fucking nutcase. Even if he comes back, he's going to end up with some kind of injury. Like, you see the writings on the wall. He does not want to play for that team.
Yeah.
What was the other? He didn't play against the Sixers the first matchup against the Nets because of personal reasons, and then the next day.
That was right after the attack on the Capitol building. And apparently, he was using that as an excuse for the personal. I don't want to use the word excuse, but he was using that as the personal reasons.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, that wasn't the personal reason because he would be back by now. If it was the personal reason, has to do with the fact that he doesn't want to play there. He has some vendetta against the Nets, the team that he just signed with a year ago. Like what happened that he didn't realize was going to happen?
And he really didn't play for them last year, right?
No, he played 15 or 20 games, and then he had a little injury, but I think that was a team decision to shut him down last year. Because what's the point? But still, he's making $33 million, dude.
Yeah, why does he want to play?
Right now, he's not making anything, but he's giving away $33 million, right? Because he doesn't get paid if he's not playing, right?
Well, that just came out. The NBA is, I think it's $50,000 a game. He's losing game checks for every game he misses now.
So before that, he wasn't losing game checks?
No, and he was fined.
Being hurt.
Right, he was fined $55,000.
It might have been more than that. But still, I mean, regardless, irregardless, as everyone loves. No, regardless, it's it's money coming out of his pocket that he had, should have been counting on if you just suit up and play. And I kind of agree with you. I just don't think he just doesn't want to play anymore.
He should just retire. If you retire, you still get the this year's salary. So just retire, collect your money, and go do.
How does he get this year's salary if he retires?
That's the way the NBA works.
So you can play one game and just decide, hey, I'm out, I'm retiring.
Yep.
Pay me.
Yep. It's another reason why the NBA is a joke, dude.
Huh. Wow.
It's something that was figured in the players' union.
So, with all this, are you glad? Did you guys already talk about it? Are you glad?
We talked a little bit about it. Yeah, I mean, but you're sure.
I'm saying, sorry. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad. If you're talking about Ben Simmons and Thibault and a pick, I would have done it in a heartbeat, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at what the Nets gave up, I just there's no Houston to me is the big winner for sure. They have a chance. They don't have to tank. I think Ryan and I were talking about this over the week. They don't have to tank now. They don't have to do anything. They can keep playing winning basketball and still make out with a good pick.
because New Jersey's going to be bad in a couple of years. It's inevitable.
And
they gave away all their prospects, and their best players are old and going to be gone in a couple of years.
And where Houston's at right now, a lot of it depends on health. But if that team somehow stays healthy, you got Boogie Cousins, you got John Wall, and you got Victor Oladipo. Christian Wood. You're not going to win the title, but if you stay healthy, you're going to be competitive. You're going to be a 4 or 5 seed in the playoffs.
Not only that, but those guys, if you package 2 of them up to a team that wants, needs some depth or something, you can get something decent in return. You can keep building you can keep rotating that around. They can use that for a while.
Yeah. Just to keep them afloat until the lottery picks start coming in.
Right.
And I'm not the rumor mill guy ever, but I did read an article that said that the reason that Harden's not in Philly is because basically under no circumstances, even though they probably offered a better deal, the owner of Houston did not want to give Morey Rich Harden and have Morey and Harden win a championship outside of Houston.
I can get that, but I also commend the Sixers because they refused to put Maxey in the deal. Which
is crazy. I mean, the guy was a 20th pick. He wasn't even like a lottery pick. And he's shined that much to where after 5 games, they're not willing to put him in. They must think he's going to be a superstar. I mean, I guess
the only thing is, how many picks were they talking now? You're talking Ben Simmons and Tyrese Maxey, and how many picks? 4 picks? 4 first rounders? Nah, man. For a 31-year-old, I'm not doing all that.
I don't even know if I would do it.
And for a mean guy.
But apparently it was really close because I heard today Ben Simmons' agent was called and said he's probably going to be traded.
Yeah. Maybe that's why Ben Simmons Ben Simmons had a triple-double last night.
Yeah, but he had a 10-point triple-double.
Yeah, but he started off not looking good. He started off, I'm like, oh God, did we make a mistake? Did we not?
Well, it's not a mistake because we could still trade him. I still don't know if he's. I think in a right circumstance he's valuable. He just seems like he's lost a little bit of confidence too. I mean, at least scoring wise, he just doesn't seem confident. It seems like it might be in his head. I just want to see him dominate.
He's not going to. I don't think he's ever going to be that player.
No, this is who he is, man. He's
Rajon Rondo.
Yeah.
Taller Rajon Rondo, but Rajon Rondo
with less balls.
Because Rondo will take
shots. Rondo will take shots. He won't take. He's under the freaking net. He's under the net and dishes it off.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a layup.
This is the last. You have to see it here. Embiid's out on the road, the back-to-back road trip for the weekend.
Which is kind of we texted about this. That's kind of weird. I guess.
I don't think it's weird at all, dude. With where they were at with the COVID thing and everybody out, he played like a monster and he was playing over 40 minutes a game. You had to know. You had to know.
Do you think it's a load management thing?
Yes, I do.
For both games, though?
Yeah. You're using the knee soreness thing as like it's not knee soreness, it's load management.
He didn't look great though last night, running up and down.
No. Yeah, so mate, right.
He looked sluggish to me. He looked like the Embiid of last year, honestly. Like he wasn't hustling like he normally is. So he could be a little banged up.
Well, I mean, I think that, if there was a game for him to take off, that game was the game. Like, I wasn't surprised to see a stat line. I just was hoping he wasn't hurt, which maybe he is now. But that's kind of the thing. Like, when he took that game off, when everybody was back, he's like, look, I carried you guys. You guys are going to have to handle this game.
The thing is, though, by the end of this 72, right, 72 games, if he doesn't play 60 games and he loses 12 of those games to whatever, load management and all, and then we get to the playoffs and he's, looking like a piece of shit.
I agree. That's different. But like we were talking in the text thread earlier,
I
do your thing, play 60 games, but be 100% in the playoffs. That's all.
He's having it's hard. I don't want to shit on him, dude, because first of all, it was one of my New Year's resolutions that I made 2 weeks ago. But on top of that, I just think that he's playing great right now. When he's been out there, he's just been absolutely phenomenal, and he's probably a top 5 player right now in the NBA with the way he's playing. So
I would have been okay with him missing one game. The 2 games is kind of like, wow, that's
who are they against? Who are the next?
One's Memphis.
And
first one's Memphis.
Oklahoma City.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So I don't know.
And when's Seth Curry back? Is he
tomorrow?
He's back?
Yes, tomorrow.
Oh wow. So we're gonna have everybody but Embiid and Mike Scott, because apparently Mike Scott's got knee soreness, and Mike Scott, nice guy and everything, but don't really care as much about him.
Still recovering from that race with Justin.
He might still be. That might have tired him out because he hasn't been the same since.
He hasn't. You know what? That might be a conspiracy. We might have to blame Justin. Ever since that race with Justin, Mike Scott has not been the same.
Justin, where are you, by the way?
Yeah, I was never big on Mike Scott anyway, honestly.
You weren't part of those. You weren't part of the Mike Scott hive.
He's a 8th guy off the bench.
Right.
So
and that's looking at the Sixers. I think that's what they're lacking. I think
8th guy, isn't that 13? Isn't that like the guy that doesn't make the team?
No,
there's 12 players.
The 3rd or 4th guy is what I mean. Like,
I think they need one more shooter.
So
as crazy as that sounds, because you acquired a bunch of shooters that are starting for you. And if Maxi's your starter or if he's off the bench, whatever, still, either way. But I do think that one more shooter off the bench would be
So between Seth Curry and Danny Green, I don't know. Do you consider Maxey or Milton a shooter?
Better than what we had.
Mike Scott's technically kind of that shooter.
Yeah,
I see. That's where I was at. Like, I'm kind of surprised now. I never went over it and see who I would do instead, but I was surprised that they're starting both Danny Green and Seth Curry. I thought one of them would come off the bench.
Yeah.
For this reason.
Uh-huh.
So you had a legitimate shooter off the bench. Although,
so who do you start?
See that, and again, I haven't gone over. So I guess, say you brought Danny Green off the bench. You can't start Thibault.
No, you can't start. Yeah.
Yeah, Thibault's too much of an offensive deficiency.
Right.
Between him and Simmons would be trouble.
Yeah, you're bringing him in. You're bringing Thibault late in games now.
Right. You can't start Shake. That's your backup point guard.
That's what I was going to.
You could start Maxey and bench Seth.
Maybe that.
Because Max is a scorer. I mean, he's maybe not a shooter, but he's a scorer.
And then Tobias and Embiid. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
What's that?
So you're starting Ben, Embiid, Tobias, Maxey, and Green.
And Green, yeah. And then have
bringing Seth and Shake off.
You could do that, and they might end up doing that because, I mean, Maxey's earned his playing time, dude. But so is Shake.
But hold on. There's another guy we're forgetting about, man, off the bench. Isaiah Joe.
Really?
Isaiah Joe. No, I'm not saying he's the bona fide bench scorer, but Isaiah Joe has shown a few things. Dude's a good shooter, man.
Yeah.
But does he do enough other things? Like, is he a good enough shooter in a real situation? I mean, against the 7 guys that Miami could dress.
Right.
That's one thing when you can only dress 8.
Right. If you're because this is where we're going. Like, if you're in a playoff game and you need a shot, in the middle of the second quarter to keep us in it, is he the guy you're willing to give that shot to?
How about the other Mazuis, or what the fuck's his name?
Matthias,
who hit the fucking the shot to put him ahead.
After fouling a guy on a 3-point shot to take him behind,
which was a bullshit call.
Yeah, that was a bad call.
He never even touched him.
Nope.
But the bottom line is, why even near him when that play meant it doesn't matter if he hits the 3. Why even near him? Don't even defend him. Fucking let him shoot it. Who gives a fuck? And now you give him a 4-point play when it was unnecessary. But anyway, he's been playing a lot lately too. I'm surprised. I guess because of the COVID thing, because they
they just don't have the bodies.
Yeah. Right.
But also think that Doc Rivers has proven through his career, like, he's willing to give a guy a shot. Like, these dudes, you probably wouldn't even see, besides the COVID thing, you probably wouldn't even see Maxey this much yet if Brett Brown was still here.
No, you would not. I don't think there's anybody that would disagree with you there. Brett Brown would not even give him he might have played as much as Isaiah Joe has played.
Right. And you wouldn't have seen Isaiah Joe yet. Like,
no.
Again, with the COVID thing, you might have. I mean, you wouldn't have seen Isaiah Joe without the. But anyway, no, I mean, they're, it kind of, I guess, worked out. They had 2 games where they got screwed over by the COVID.
By the NBA.
And then they had,
by the NBA. Fuck the NBA.
And then Miami got screwed over by the NBA.
Yeah, apparently the only team allowed to have games postponed is the Celtics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're 6 days in a row where an NBA game has been postponed now.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota was postponed tonight. The Suns yesterday. I mean, there's just,
So what are they doing? Are they going to try and make up these games?
I would assume so. I mean, I guess they must have to, right?
Well, there was another thing. The NBA does not want games in August. Apparently, the ratings were terrible, like in the bubble when they did that last year.
Well, I think the bubble games in general were hard to watch.
Oh, yeah, they were.
It was like you were basically – it was like watching them in a gymnasium with screens around them. At least now, you're not looking – it was because it was distracting to me as a viewer.
I agree.
That's all you are. I mean, we're all viewers at that point. And when you see these fucking – it's like watching us all day. I don't know how you people do this. But it's like watching us going – but it's pixelated.
Yeah.
All pixelated and clapping and off time and shit. And it was distracting. It just did not seem authentic. And that's why last year I'm like, I don't even fucking care. Like, it's just whatever.
But you know what? Is it that it was in August, or was it the bubble, or was it just?
I think it was a combination of everything. But bottom line, the ratings were terrible, and the NBA does not want to do that again. So they're just going to forge through, kind of like probably the way baseball did, the way the NFL did.
Yeah.
They're just going to forge through.
But the NFL didn't cancel any games.
No, they didn't.
I don't know if the NBA is going to make up the games, or if they're going to basically do what the MLB did, and basically, like, if the game matters, we'll play it. We'll find a way to sneak it in.
That's probably what you're looking at.
That's the thing. Like, if any sport was going to cancel games, it would have been the NFL because of you can't have a team play 3 days apart, right? So they made it.
They damn near made play 3 days apart.
Almost. I don't know how the hell. I just don't know how the hell they pulled it off, but they did. And
I don't know if that ruined Pittsburgh's season or
it
if
had
they were
something
wrong
to
to
do
begin
with
with.
it. It had something to do with it. Pittsburgh at one point had played 5 games in like 27 days.
Yeah.
Like it had something to do with them falling apart at the end of the year. Like
I thought they were going to pick it back up. Like that was the weird. Like that was the strange thing. I wasn't sure what to make of them.
Because like we all felt, we talked about it, like that Pittsburgh wasn't as good as the record, but even still, like you've seen it. You've seen the team just hit a decline towards the end of the year.
I'm sure Bud
Dupree they were better than Cleveland, weren't they?
Yeah, I'm sure Bud Dupree is real thrilled about playing all those games in that close proximity.
Yeah.
His season ended. He probably lost the
franchise tag.
Yeah, lost all that shit. So, yeah, but then again, he could have opted out too. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy to think that like the NFL didn't cancel anything, but yet, everyone else made it through somehow by canceling games. And I think the NBA is going to be the same spot. I don't think we're going to have any issues. I think because of the days off in between and all that stuff, I think the NBA will be fine.
Yeah, they'll figure
it out.
Yeah, they'll figure, like, even if they add a week after the regular season before the playoffs or something, like, they'll figure it out.
How does the NHL not have COVID situations? I know they just started.
Because they're hockey players. They don't go to the clubs, dude.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of people getting COVID that aren't doing anything wrong.
Yeah, it's.
I mean,
but the NHL just started.
Ghost is on the list. Gostisbehere is on the list.
Oh, it's on the COVID list?
Yeah.
And actually, the NHL has, dude. Right before the season started with the testing, there was 27 players that tested positive. 17 of them were on the Dallas Stars.
Wow. So they did have a outbreak.
What a fucking jitbag.
Oh, Gary's back.
So, that's Texas for you, though.
Yeah, right? Everything's bigger in Texas. COVID cases. That's fucked
They just don't care about it. It doesn't exist there, apparently.
So, early thoughts about the Sixers and their season, despite the COVID battle, despite being, first of all, someone's like, this is so unfair. This is on Twitter like the other. This is so unfair. Our team that he'd only have 7 players or 8 players or something like that. It was that he only have 8 players. This is unfair. This is unfair. I'm like,
the Sixers only had 9.
Sixers had 7. They had 7.
7.
They had 7 before that. Yeah.
It's 7 against the Nuggets. 8 technically because Mike Scott was dressed but could not play.
So why did they dress him? Why didn't they just say like we can't?
Right. Mike Scott's hurt. He can't play. We don't have 8 guys who can dress.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't. And then Doc Rivers goes off and bitches about it. It's like, well, you had an opportune situation there to go. Nah,
there's something.
You have to have at least 8 active players to be able to play, right?
Right.
You have to have 8 players dressed. The Sixers didn't. They had 8 players dressed, but only 7 can play.
Right.
That's
why didn't they just put them on the injury list?
And they hung in there. I give them credit, dude. That
was a game Maxey had 39.
Yes, against the Nuggets. Yeah, and I think that's what I was going to lead at. Like, despite that, they were down. I think they lost by 10. They were down like by a lot more at one point. They started coming back a little bit late, in the late part of the third quarter and the fourth. But this team's got a lot of fight. They just look like a completely different team to me. I
hate to go back to it. It's because they're coached so well now. Like that kind of shit comes from coaching. Again, I don't want to. But if Brett Brown was coaching this team on that, they'd have lost by 50.
They would have lost. I have a feeling that they would have lost. There's been a couple tight games, and they would have lost 2 or 3 of these tight games. They'd probably be somewhere around the 500 mark.
There's at least 3 games that Brett Brown would have coached them out of.
What's Brett Brown doing now, anyway?
I don't know.
It's not coaching.
Yes, he is. He's coaching in Australia again.
Oh, is he?
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh.
I have people skills.
Yes, you do, Brett. Yes, you do. Good dude.
I mean, I hate to shit on Brett Brown because
Good dude, but you know,
nice guy.
he went through a lot of shit, man. But
yeah,
he was at the forefront. He was at the forefront. He was the voice of the face of the organization when they put the fans through the process. So kudos to Brett Brown. Thanks, but you know, you're not good enough. See ya.
Thanks for fucking.
I go home and get the fucking shine box.
Exactly.
I don't remember what I said where I said they'd finish. This year,
I know where I was. I got smoked for it.
I said 3 seed. Ryan said 1.
Yeah, I had them 55-17.
Oh yeah, no, I remember I said that they were going to be like 4 or 5 games over 500 or something. It wasn't. It definitely.
Oh
wasn't.
yeah, you had them like.
Oh, should have smoked you. What the fuck?
Six,
no, you guys did.
Yeah, we did.
The fuck.
Yeah, I think by the end of it, I was somewhere. I was like, oh yeah, that'll be about 4 or 5, and you're like, no, that's more 6 or 7. I'm like, all right, maybe they'll win a couple more.
Yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah, you're right. Oh, that's right, because we compared last year where they were record wise.
Yeah,
it was around the same. Yeah.
So I think that I said that they were maybe going to make the second round. By now, I think that the way that they're playing and things are working out. Right now, my estimate would be conference finals.
Yeah, I love when they were right, dude. They were 7-1.
Mm-hmm.
They were 7-1 before COVID hit them, and they were about to hit. They were about to hit a meat part of their schedule. So you were really going to find something out about them.
Mm-hmm.
So you really still
don't know.
Right,
because they have not played the meat part of their schedule included the Heat, but then the Heat got struck with COVID.
Right, so
and you can't evaluate the Denver game, which would have been a test because they didn't have their team. The Sixers didn't have their team, so you haven't had a heavyweight bout.
Right, where both teams are 100% healthy, and you go toe to toe and see what you got.
Hmm. I thought it was going to be Toronto, but apparently Toronto sucks.
Toronto's fucking terrible. Oh my god, they got like 3 wins, 3 or 4 wins.
What about Laurie?
Depending on what you have to give up for him, I'm all in on Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, I mean, I like Lowry.
I wonder what you have to give up for him. Because if they're playing the way they are right now, and
you would think, yeah, I mean,
they're not going to tank though. So,
yeah, but Lowry's old enough to where I don't know how many more years you got of him. I mean, I would give up a first rounder for him, obviously. Well, I mean, nobody gives a shit about a first rounder. It's going to be late.
Yeah, you're going to have to give him a player.
Max, your first rounder?
No. No, I'm not trading Maxey for nobody.
I think Maxey's going to be a player in this league.
Yes, I'm not trading him for nobody. I'll give you Thibault in a first rounder for him because you're not losing anything defensively.
Yeah, I mean, Thibault's kind of expendable right now. I don't know if Thibault's going to be all that great anymore.
Yeah, it's a shame. I don't know what it is that made me fall out of love with him.
He just doesn't fit in. He just doesn't fit in.
He doesn't score.
Right.
He doesn't score.
But you don't have that's the thing. You don't have to score to fit in. But there's something. Yeah, it's just something weird about it. I just fell out of love with him, man. Like I don't know.
He's a bad. Well, it's not only that he doesn't score; he's a bad fit. Like you don't have to play on him.
He hit 2 threes, though. But still, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not giving up Shake either. I'll give him Isaiah Joe.
A second round pick. Nobody gives a shit about your damn second round pick.
I don't know, for an older player, man, like
Danny Green. Would you give Danny Green for Laurie?
Yeah.
No.
And you probably have to give up a pick too.
No, only because again, if you trade Danny Green, you can't start Kyle Lowry in that spot.
So you're saying that you basically have too many guys that are in that kind of same position between Shea, Simmons, Maxey.
Right.
Hmm.
So if realistically,
it's got to be one of those guys.
For Kyle Lowry, you probably have to trade Shake or Maxey. And I'm not giving up either one of them. Sorry.
Last year, if you would have asked me if I would trade Shake Milton, I'd be like, yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now all of a sudden, Shake looks like he can play.
He might fuck around and be win the Sixth Man of the Year award.
I say that. I mean, Shake was actually okay for them last year. I don't mean to be mean there.
Well, I mean, he was good at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody knew who he was from the beginning of the year. I think I'd have to look at the numbers and check it out. But I mean, Lowry's a veteran, and
Lowry's got that championship playoff pedigree that you need.
Ken Rogers just said, "So what? Shake's now untouchable." And that's the thing. That's what I'm battling with, Ken.
Yeah, I think I would trade Shake for Lowry.
You would trade. You would.
Yeah.
I know it's so. I know it's stupid. Like I said, if you would ask me last year, you'd trade Shake for Kyle Lowry right up. I'd be like, absolutely.
What do you have to give up? Is Bradley Beal?
Oh, forget.
What do you have to give up for him?
That's what I was going to say. People are talking about that. Oh, let's move on to Bradley Beal. I was on our Twitter, Corner Pod Sports Twitter page. Oh, well, we can move on to Bradley Beal, and I'm like, no. I'm telling you right now, if people were reluctant to give up what they were going to give up for Harden, they're going to be the same for Bradley Beal, because I'm not saying Bradley Beal and James Harden are the same, but I think Beal's a couple years younger, and Beal right now, where he is right now, he is way higher than what Harden is right now. Like
you're gonna have to give up like Harden just set the trade market for a top tier player, man. And
you think Beal's going to be getting more than?
Right. I don't think he's going to get. I don't think he's going to get more than what Harden got. And Ken is back. Could have made a Ken's right, I should say. It could have made a move for Lowry or DeRozan 2 or 3 years ago. Absolutely. 100%. I wouldn't. I would have.
What about DeMar DeRozan now?
I don't know.
I haven't followed what he's done in San Antonio well enough to know.
If you're going to make a trade, I mean, if you're going to trade, I think
Brian, you're in the same boat. DeMar DeRozan plays Shake Milton.
Yeah, that's true.
Or you got to give up one of those guys. So,
and I'd rather, if I'm going to give up one of them, I'd rather do it for Lowry, I think.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Personally, me personally, I don't know.
You know what?
But I'd be willing to give up more for me personally. I'd be willing to give up more for Beal than I was for Harden.
Really?
I'm not giving up that kind of package for any one player. No way.
Beal's younger. He's under contract longer. Yeah. He's a better defender. He's not an asshole.
Well, that's not true.
I mean, you'd have to give up Maxey, probably Maxey, Danny Green.
What's his contract?
You're giving up Simmons.
Bradley Beal's 27. I'm trying to see what his contract.
I'm not giving you Simmons and Maxey
for Bradley Beal.
Yeah,
I'd be willing to do that more than I would be for Harden. Yeah, I might be doing.
But I'm not giving you both.
You're not getting them. You're getting both.
I'm not getting them.
Okay.
I'm not against trading Ben Simmons. Don't get it twisted, but I'm not giving you Ben Simmons and Maxey.
Got to give up something to get Bradley Beal, and right now Bradley Beal is going to help your team win a lot more than Maxey will.
So Bradley Beal's contract ends next year.
Oh. Ken, hell no.
28.
Hell no what? You're not giving up Maxey for Beal?
$28 million next year. His average salary is $25 million a year. So
you're probably not re-signing them either.
No.
Well, I mean, if you're trading Simmons, you're giving them Ben Simmons money.
That's true.
It's going to be your max contract guy.
That's true.
So Beal, 27, you give him up for a 22-year-old Ben Simmons, 23-year-old Ben Simmons.
Isn't Ben Simmons like 25? No.
No. Embiid is. Simmons, he's only 23, man.
He's a kid. That's the thing. Yeah, I don't know.
And that's so scary. And even to even right now, as much as we're harping on him how much it's been rough. Straight up, I'm there with you,
man. But you're talking like 5 games. You're putting Maxey on a pretty high pedestal after 5 games, to where you think he's going to be a superstar.
Yes, I do.
After 5 games,
I don't think Maxey's going to be a superstar.
It's not even after 5 games, dude. Like this dude wasn't supposed to drop the 20.
I get it. I get that he was supposed to be a lottery pick, but that's like top overall pick.
This is what I see out of Maxey, and I'm not a scout or anything. What the fuck? But Maxey to me is someone who belongs on the NBA court. He has so much confidence. He knows where to go with the ball. He does make his mistakes. He's making his rookie mistakes here and there, but he's so confident, and he can score from anywhere. As Ken just said, he's definitely the wing scorer they need going forward. If you're going to ask me if I would have rather had him or Dario, Maxey's shown me more than what Dario showed me his entire tenure here.
I mean, I'm not even shitting on Maxey. I mean,
that's crazy. Like, Dario, we waited 3 years for that fuck to come over here, and Maxey to me has shown way more than what Dario showed. Take that, Mike Eskin, you ugly motherfucker. Fucking Roger from fucking Doug looking motherfucker.
Yeah. No, I mean, all I'm saying is after 12 games, if you got a chance to get a superstar and he fits better than Simmons does, and you got to give up a guy after 10 games, I can't see Maxey being.
Yeah, I know.
I
just think they got a diamond in the rough. I think they got lucky. And I think they finally got their what was I saying the other day, Ryan? I said
they're like Manu Ginobili.
Yeah, this is our Ginobili. Yeah, Maxey's our
Isn't Ginobili damn near a Hall of Famer?
Well, but no. But what I meant was like Ginobili was taken. First of all, he was taken in the second round, but
right.
He ended up being such a great player for him. I think Maxey's gonna be that type of player for
him.
I hope so. But I just don't know.
All the signs are pointing to it, though, Mike. He was coached by John Calipari. John Calipari raved about him. He went to Kentucky. It's hard to go wrong with a Kentucky player. From the first game that he played, I'm not saying he looks like a dude who's going to light you up every night. He just seems like he gets it.
I mean, he's a very good prospect. Maybe he ends up being an all-star, all NBA type player. But Bradley Beal right now is an all-star, all NBA type player.
Are you looking to win now? Are you looking to stay good for the future, man? I mean,
can't you do both with Bradley Beal? And right now your window is with. You don't know how many more years Embiid's going to be here.
Right.
I think so. I mean, Beal's only 27.
Beal's still got 5-6 good years in him, right? I mean,
we've suffered enough as fans where we Sixers fans where we look to the future. Oh, what about the future? What about the future? What about fucking now? Embiid's in his prime now.
Embiid's in his prime right now, and you get 6 good years. Assuming you re-sign him, you get 6 good years from Beal. Even if Maxey's got 6 good years and 6 years after that, are you worried about the 6 years after it?
If you bring home 2 championships, I don't give a fuck.
That's right. I can't get behind that. I can't give up Maxey and Simmons for one player. I can't. Now, you want to talk about another kind of package with one of them not in it? Okay.
You're talking a shitload of draft picks and
apparently nobody gives a shit about draft picks. Apparently draft picks are like fucking,
Right. And how about Simmons and Shake?
Well, all right,
I might be a little more prone to do that.
That's the starting point. Simmons, Shake, You know,
3 pick swaps and 3 draft, 3 first rounders.
Right. That's
at first next year because you know you're going to be good this year. So
right. We'll send you an unprotected pick in 2025.
No, it's going to take more than one unprotected pick.
All right, 25 and 26. Like,
don't be unprotected. Don't be unprotected around Von Miller, man.
Call Freshly.
He's going to tell you to abort that baby.
Or even Maxey and Shake. Like,
see what's crazy? We've never been this show. We've never done the whole like
hypothetical trade scenario. Yeah.
We've never been that. And here we are doing this because we care. Because we want to see this team do something. Because I think the bottom line is we all see something's missing here.
Well, we all see them. We all see them as being pretty good. I mean, 2 years ago we were in the same boat.
With Jimmy Butler,
we thought it was terrible.
Jimmy Butler, before this season, before what I'm seeing, this is just me saying this here. 2 years ago with Jimmy Butler, I felt that team was the best overall team that I had seen in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Sixers team. I was too young for '83. I was 2 years old. I don't remember '83. Iverson years were fantastic, but it was Iverson and a bunch of nobodies and to come in
role players. Yeah.
Right. And so that Jimmy Butler year that sucked.
Yeah.
That sucked when that ended the way it did. And no one else showed up in games. And that's when the Ben Simmons spotlight really started to shine on him. And he didn't show up. If he would have showed up a little bit, they might have won that. They might have won that series. But anyway,
if he would have hit a 3-pointer in that Toronto game, they probably win Game 7.
Yeah, right. So you lose that. Last year was a fucking debacle. Everyone knew it. Everyone looked at that team like this isn't working anymore.
Dude, we were scared to death that it was over, that Embiid was terrible, and it was we thought that there was no way. We thought that it was the end of the process, and so we've come a long way since then.
No, and you get a new coach, and all of a sudden you're reinvigorated. You go out and get some shooters around this team, which was the best way to build this team. Build shooters around Ben and Joel.
So, dude, remember
Joel's not taking those stupid 3-pointers all game long. Remember last year? Oh,
remember back right before. Dude, they were this close to hiring Tyrone Lue.
Remember Alex? Remember? Hey, remember Ghostbusters? Hi, Mindy.
I love the Memphis.
Yeah.
Been a long time.
But they were this close to hiring Tyrone Lue, and then Doc Rivers got fired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't imagine what this team would be without though. It wouldn't be. It'd be bad.
And then we brought Daryl Morey in. Daryl Morey fixed it in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah. Crazy.
Like the number one thing, he got rid of that Al Horford contract. Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't. So there's people who are upset about Daryl Morey not pulling the trigger on James Harden, saying that he already failed this team. I'm like, wait, I'm sorry. Are you that fucking short-sighted that you don't remember what Morey did? He got you away from fucking Anna and fucking Al Horford. Gone. That fucking debacle that was. That piece of shit giant fucking raisinette. He sucked.
Oh my God. It's not all his fault though.
I hated him before he came here, and I hate him more now.
I actually liked him before he came here.
So did I.
I couldn't stand it.
It wasn't all his fault. He was coached wrong. He was used wrong.
Fucking.
You old fat bitch!
Fuck you!
Fat bitch! Hey, you're embarrassing yourself, you geriatric fuck!
I'm not a geriatric fuck. That guy's sleeping.
Not you. Not you.
That's true. It's true.
It's true.
Shit. All right. Well, I think it's time, guys. I think we got to call it a show. It's been fucking almost 3 hours.
Jesus Christ! It's fucking 11 o'clock.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to thank Ed Kracz for coming on the show tonight, giving us some Eagles talk. We talked to. This is our escape, guys. I don't give a fuck. We went 3 hours.
No.
That's what we do. Yeah. Talking sports for 3 hours. We get to do for one day a week.
You did this week.
Drink beers and what's that? Yeah,
we needed this. Yeah. Flyers are looking good. Both.
Yeah, Flyers, Sixers, and Oh,
even when I was going, even when I was going nuts.
I want to bring it up. I forgot to bring it up. So there's two things. So the Phillies, it was supposed to be my while you were drunk segment. I skipped over it. So the Phillies signed Archie Bradley, and you're like, who the fuck is that? Well,
Archie Bunker's son.
He's actually the number one reliever on the market, and his ERA is a little under 4, which isn't that impressive. 3.9 ERA, but the guy's strikeout per innings pitched ratio is fantastic, and
so he either strikes you out or gives up a gap double.
What's that?
So, like with that ERA, he either strikes you out or gives up a hit in the gap.
I guess maybe, but he has good velocity. He pitches in the mid-90s. He's got good movement. Again, he was the top reliever on the market at the time. They made a move. They got him. They need bullpen help.
Oh, kudos.
But bigger news with the Phillies, they made an offer to JT Realmuto.
He got his 9-figure deal.
Yeah, 5 years and over a little bit over $100 million over that 5-year span.
Oh, it's a little over 100. Well, whatever.
It's a little over 100. That's per Jason Stark, who lives down the street from me, and I wanted to get him on the show, and he's blowing me off. But yeah, so hopefully there's some movement with the Phillies. We'll see what happens.
So I will say though, I'm not holding the Phillies accountable here anymore. He doesn't sign that. It's on JT. Like
at least they made an offer, right? Exactly.
Like the market is completely dried up. You're not getting $150 or $200 million deal. It's not going to happen. It would already happened if it was going to happen.
It would be the biggest contract I think of the offseason if JT signs.
Right.
There's no one else to sign it for that kind of money right now.
Right. So either take it or thanks, JT. It was a great year and it's a great 2 years. See you.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, the only other thing he can do is sign a 1 year, kind of not prove it, but a 1 year. Let's wait until there's more money in the people are willing to spend, and he could probably get somewhere around $25 million or something for a 1 year deal.
So hopefully next week when we do our show,
we'll talk about JT signed.
We'll talk about JT re-signing, yeah, and maybe another Philly.
JT real signing.
Yeah, that's right.
I heard another thing about the Phillies today. Apparently they're interested in Freddie Galvis.
I think I've seen something about them bringing back some.
Whatever. I did see something about that too. Yeah, I did see something. Someone's like, it's only bat him second again.
I always liked Freddie Galvis.
He's good defensively, but you got to bat him at the bottom of the lineup.
Right, not a second.
The problem was he was right. The problem was he was your 2-hole hitter.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, McCanna's putting him at fucking batting second behind fucking Cesar Hernandez. Like, get the fuck.
Yeah, so you're batting .215 for your career, and you're our 2-hole hitter.
Right. Fuck out of here.
Well, I mean, is he a little insurance for Kingery if Kingery's still struggles?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Well, Kingery's not the shortstop. Didi was.
So you're saying you're gonna have Galvis as your starting shortstop?
I guess you would have to be, right?
Right.
Yeah, they didn't sign DD.
Kingery was your second baseman.
Right.
Yeah, I forgot that DD. I forgot they didn't sign DD. Oh, well.
No, not yet. So I mean, there's somebody else that they have, right? They have Segura.
Yeah, I guess is he still playing third or no? The outbound. Right. Where was Segura?
Short.
No, Didi played short.
No, but Segura would play short.
If you sign Galvis?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so now you got Galvis that could play a couple different positions. You got Kingery that could play a couple different positions, and you got Segura at short. So between the three of them, hopefully you got 2 starters and a bench guy.
Yeah. Might be a bad thing.
Where did Segura play last year after we brought Baum up?
Second, didn't he?
Yeah, he's playing second because Kingery was sucking balls.
Kingery played center field or something at some point.
And then he went back to third because Baum was playing first because of Hoskins.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Oh, because Hoskins played DH or Hoskins was hurt?
Hoskins had Tommy John surgery.
Oh, I forgot about that.
By the way, Hoskins was on arbitration, so he's back next year.
Yep. Which he might not even be ready for the season.
He might not be. No.
Right.
All right. Well, guys, if you watched and download the show, we thank you very much. We thank again, like we want to say, Ed Kracz. Thank you so much. Check him out, Kracz E at Twitter, and follow him on Facebook and all his stories. He's a great guy, really good guy. He's one of us, man.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. So
yeah, we had him live in studio. 2 years ago? At this point, fuck.
Yeah, something like that. It's crazy, isn't it, to think about that?
Yeah, I think it was probably the August before 2 years ago because he had to go the next day to check on the. He didn't stay long and then didn't hang out and drink as heavily with us because he had to go to the practice the following morning to.
Yeah, it was right.
With the Eagles.
It was right with training. Preseason was getting ready to start, and for the 2018 season.
2019.
It was
I think it was 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. The one thing I remember from that night was we talked about Super Bowl story, and he told his story about his dad.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
But all right, guys, we'll see you guys next week. Next week we're gonna do a little voodoo fun. We're gonna have a little fun with a voodoo doll. We're gonna basically give your bad thoughts and things you want to get rid of in Philadelphia sports, and we're gonna jab the fucking voodoo doll. We're gonna do that last week or this week, but we had Ed on, so that was more important.
Plus the fact that we had a shit ton to talk about.
Yeah, we lost the coach, so.
So next week, two things. Hopefully, JT's re-signed, and the Eagles probably have a new coach by then.
Probably.
Hopefully, Kyrie's still not playing.
Hopefully, he's not. That's true.
It's true.
And the Eagles or the Sixers and Flyers keep winning. That'd be good too.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice. Mike, want to play us out?
Penis out.
Good night, guys. Thanks for listening.